mobile weather tracker is out there right now. If we have them, we can pull them up and see what. Yeah, they're going. We had them on the 10 o'clock news. They've ran into some hail too. It's pea size. Again, not huge hail here, but look at the lightning. Whenever you see a lot of lightning, especially if you see it increase, that's a sign of very healthy storms, and these are just kind of flaring up. We didn't have a severe thunderstorm warning not that long ago, but these are, rapidly increasing in power and producing some rough weather. So that's what we're seeing there with Chandler Watkins and out in our First Warn 5 mobile weather tracker and keeping tabs. So they're coming back through Ottawa, and they're going to be moving back toward the Kansas City metro. So let's see what these winds are, because again, straight line and a big area of them, potential for hurricane force winds tonight. And I just showed you that. There it is. Now this is a little bit off the ground. As you get farther away from the radar, you're looking higher into the atmosphere. So this may not be at the ground, but I want you to think tonight of the potential of hurricane force winds, straight line winds. This would cover a larger area than any tornadoes that drop tonight. So that could, I'm thinking about trees going down, and something that you want to monitor. If you get a severe thunderstorm warning tonight, I know we get a lot of them, but these could be different. You get hurricane force winds, and trees going onto houses is a problem, and it would be wise to get away from exterior walls with just a severe thunderstorm warning. If you've got a basement, I know not everybody does, especially if you have children. I do. I called my wife earlier and said, hey, these warnings tonight may be a little different, and if we get one of these like we have down here by Garnett, then you want to treat it as though it's a tornado warning, because the tree threat really is what's going on there. So that's what I see with the winds. Let's go back up to the one that's outside of Kansas City. It's over by Tonganoxie. And what we're looking at, here's the Doppler winds. This helps me diagnose, on screen with you, where we could see a spin up. Now, this is not a tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning, and I'm going to show you that here again in just a moment. But right just east of Tonganoxie right now, there's some rotation. It's broad. It's not super tight, but it's enough that bears watching. So that would be headed toward Baser next. I think it'd be running toward Baser. There's Highway 24 and Highway 73. It's going to run this way. It's moving at 50 miles per hour, so it's going to get there pretty quickly. Let's get back to the traditional radar and see how the line itself has advanced and what we're getting in Kansas City. Okay, Melissa, I'm going to take a peek at this, and then we're going to come back to you here in just a moment.
Okay.
I want to see the traditional radar. There we go. And what's going on with Kansas City, as this is a very electrical storm, and 60-mile-per-hour winds possible within it, and then that little notch that's over there just by Tonganoxie. Okay, so there's our warning, goes till 11:15. And moving east at about 50. All right, Melissa, over to you. Let's get a track on this.
Yes, so I put a track on here. This is moving rather quickly, as Luke had just mentioned, northeast around 50 miles per hour. So we're watching the potential for those spin-ups along that line. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain with this as well, and that potential for those straight line winds. So if we track this out around 10:32, this is moving in through the Olathe area. 10:37 around Shawnee, around 10:45, 10:46, then it'll be heading to the Kansas City area. As we head into 10:52, we're looking at that moving into Arrowhead, and then 10:57 just before 11 o'clock moving into Independence. So damaging winds, straight line winds is the primary threat with this, and we could see some potential for those spin-ups as we've been talking about, which is usually what we start to see when we start to see a very strong line of storms moving through the area. So over the next several minutes or so, moving into the Olathe area, and then eventually Shawnee, 10:45 moving into the Kansas City area. So we're going to continue to keep you updated and keep you monitored too about that potential for that potential of a spin-up tornado. Luke, over to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, so bottom line here is severe thunderstorm moving into the Kansas City metro. It's not here just yet. It's just to the west of the 435 loop. That goes until 11:15. So what we're going to do, we're going to stay here with you throughout this and track these storms. We're going to go to our streaming platforms and monitor these storms. You can catch that on our app. You can go to our website and follow them there. We'll have a stream up on Facebook. Anything that you want to watch, we're going to be following these storms. In addition to that, if anything happens where these storms become more, they want to spin more, they're rotating more, there's a greater threat, we'll come back in, we'll cover you right here on air as well. But in the meantime, with this being a storm that we're tracking, it's not likely producing a tornado warning right now, or a tornado right now, then we're going to switch over to our streaming platforms, get back to regular programming. We're also going to bring you updates during commercial breaks as well as we monitor this storm system as we come through. So stay with us here at KCTV5, the First Warn Weather Team. We've got you covered. We're going to stay here as long as there is a threat. Tornado watch until 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll see you on the streaming channel. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are just past 10:30. We just wrapped up the 10 o'clock newscast as a line of storms has come through. We were talking about this for the past couple of days as we expected this to pass through during the nighttime hours. And here we are just past 10 o'clock, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is moving into the Kansas City metro and other areas that are just outside of the metro experiencing some rough weather right now. What we have is a severe thunderstorm warning, but you do see this potential for a tornado. It's what's called a tornado possible tag. And that means that this storm has some spots, small spots, that are rotating and bears watching. We don't think that there's a tornado there right now, but it has potential to drop one quickly. And that's the way that the storms are going to want to behave tonight. We'll get this line, and along that line, you can have these brief spin-ups where they drop rather quickly, and then they tend to lift rather quickly. And that's the threat with this particular storm. In addition to that, we've also got the traditional severe thunderstorm type of threats being hail and high winds. So we're going to stay with you here on streaming. We'll be here with you as long as there's a threat, and we'll also be at times covering some commercial breaks or possibly even have to go back on television if the threat becomes large enough. So I'm going to track this storm, and I'm going to highlight where this potential tornado could be or where we're seeing rotation. Again, we don't think there's one there now, and give you an idea of what to expect where you are. So I'm going to kick the radar off just for a second so you get an idea of where the warning is and who's in it and who's not. And it's everybody that's shaded in yellow, which is portions of Johnson County. That would be in Kansas. We don't have anything in Missouri yet. Johnson County, Kansas, that'd be Leavenworth, Platte, Wyandotte counties. This warning goes until 11:15. I'll kick the lightning off for you there too. So this is the west side of Kansas City. Oh, Platte County, you're in Missouri. So looks like we just got an update. All right, nope. We'll go to Melissa here in just a second. Is there anything that we need to know about that with the update?
No, still moving northeast at 40 miles an hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and penny-sized hail.
So that's kind of low and severe. You know, penny-sized hail is not even severe level hail. 60-mile-per-hour winds is the bottom threshold. So the main thing is, yeah, we could have some severe level winds, but it's that possible tornado or the tornado possible tag, which means that there's some of that rotation. So that's the warning area. Let me kick the radar back on, and we'll see where some of the most severe portions of the storm are currently. I'll actually kick the lightning back on with it as well, and we'll get the radar going back for you here in just a moment. Okay, there we go. And let's zoom in here around Leavenworth, which is included in the warning. Fairview, you're just out ahead of it, and where the worst of this will be is right out ahead of it and right as that rain comes in, and that would be the 60-mile-per-hour wind threat. Also down into Overland Park, you've got a thunderstorm moving in there that could pack a punch in DeSoto. I actually think the worst of it right now is probably just west of Overland Park, more toward this area, right around DeSoto or just east of DeSoto. Then a lot of heavy rain. You'll probably get your highest winds right at the leading edge of this. And then you'll get the really heavy rain and maybe some small hail. That'd be Tonganoxie, that'd be DeSoto. And this is where we have been seeing some of that rotation. But before I get there, it goes all the way down to Garnett and extends down into Miami and Lynn counties in Kansas. But while I'm here, let's switch it back to the Doppler winds and see where this spot is that's being monitored. There's actually a couple kinks. And what we watch are these little notches. That's all it is, just a little notch. It's an area of rotation right just east of Baser now. So there's Leavenworth, there's Baser. This would be just northeast. It's north of Bonner Springs, just west of 435, right along Highway 73 or just east of 73. So it'd be somewhere in this zone where we're seeing the rotation. And probably not a tornado because it's too broad. It's not real tight. We'd like, you know, if you want to see a tornado, they'd be real tight if you're watching for that. But it's close. It's kind of close. It's the kind of thing where we can give you an advanced warning of hey, this could have a tornado warning on it. It's almost like a pre-tornado warning. Next in line might be in the Parkville area. So this is going to go this way, kind of northeast. It's moving at about 40 to 50. It's been going back and forth. So that would be kind of in the Parkville area, maybe up by Smithville. So let's get a track on that and see who could be seeing a potential tornado warning before too awful long if this continues to behave this way. Last you said was 40, right, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, so it slowed down just a notch. Walcott, that'd be about 10:48, so we're about 10 minutes away from there. Parkville at 11:02. The warning goes till 11:15. So Lake Wacomas, that'd be about 10 after 11. And then after that, you're outside of the warning time. May not get extended with the tornado potential, but after that would be Gladstone. So those are some areas that we're going to be watching for potential spin-ups here, and that's what it would be, is kind of a brief spin-up. Hey, while I'm here, really the bigger threat tonight, we could have brief isolated tornadoes pop up and down in a spot or two, is the widespread wind damage and high winds, straight line winds. So let's see where we're tracking some of that, because this whole line is rather strong and it's severe. This is a severe thunderstorm warning all the way down to Paola and Lacine and Mound City. And you can spot it on the Doppler winds, which is what I'm showing you here. That leading edge is where your strongest winds will be. And if you're behind that, you can still get some strong gusty winds. We're seeing that potentially in Garnett, but really the worst of it would probably be right as it punches through. So let's see some areas that may have some high winds. I've been watching a little notch here too, just southwest of Spring Hill. It's not as pronounced as the one that we saw that's closer to Bonner Springs, but right about there, there's a little spot. But within this area, let's see what the winds are punching out here, just west of Paola, 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts, that's straight line winds. And then there's another bright spot here. Let's see what that one is, 60, 65. So some of these may not be our typical severe thunderstorm warnings tonight. And it's nighttime, and we could have trees go down. We could have, some significant issues from straight line winds. In fact, earlier, just to the south, we had 80-mile-per-hour winds that were possible just south of Lone Elm and down here by Iola. There's a storm down here that's really been rocking. It's possible that we get some of those in our area tonight that could punch out 75 hurricane force winds, 75-mile-per-hour winds. I haven't seen that in our coverage area yet, but this one that's just west of Fontana is pretty mean. It's a pretty mean storm there. That'd be some powerful straight line winds. Okay, so that's a quick breakdown with this. I'll get you back to the traditional Doppler here so you can see the line of storms as you're used to seeing them. And did you see how this lines up with that leading edge where the winds were? That's what we'll be monitoring closely. That's really the reason for this severe thunderstorm warning that goes down into Miami and Lynn counties. There's Johnson County included in that as well. So, Melissa, let's go to you. Can you put a track on this for everybody and see when they can expect it? More the line of storms rather than the rotating part. Let's see what you got.
Yes, absolutely. So this is moving towards now the east, northeast at around 40 miles an hour. So as we had just mentioned, slowed down just a teensy bit from the last update, but still want to track this out for you as it continues to move towards the east. So around at 10:40 in just a handful of minutes, moving into the Olathe area. Eventually 10:50 Kansas City. 10:55 moving into the Leawood area, by 11 o'clock into the Arrowhead Stadium area. So this continues to push towards the east at around 40 miles an hour. 11:15 moving into the Lee Summit area. So we're likely going to see a lot of lightning, some heavy rainfall with that, possibly some strong winds. And then we'll continue to keep an eye on any of those possible spin-ups that we could see through the evening hours. And before I send it back over to you, Luke, I do want to point out, too, that there have been some reports of pea-sized hail, both in Miami County as well as in Leavenworth County. So both the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in portions of our Kansas City metro area on the Kansas side have had some reports of small hail too.
Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, we'll look at the hail tracker here in a moment and see where some of that may be most pronounced. First, let's take our tower cam. As these come through, one thing you will hear a lot of is thunder. There is a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms coming through. That's a sign that they're rather healthy, they're rather strong. We saw them punch in out of southeast Kansas, and as they did, they got a lot of lightning with them, and they rather quickly kind of turned into one big line. There wasn't a whole lot. We were at 8 o'clock. I was doing a streaming update, and there was a big gap between a northern line of storms and a southern line of storms, and there was a chance for a while that nothing could get going, and then they blossomed rather quickly, and they chucked out a whole lot of lightning. Hey, new severe thunderstorm warning I want to show you that's up here. This is from Leavenworth up to Clarksdale, just west of Plattsburgh in the St. Joe area. This is 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. It's going northeast. It's ripping. It's going at 55 miles per hour. Let me get the warning on it for you here. That one goes to 11:30, so that's a new one. Also, do you notice what's happening here is they're just, the National Weather Service, any of these warnings that they're putting out for severe thunderstorms are saying tornado possible because these brief little kinks and spin ups that can happen in it. So let's see if we can spot one up there. If you're watching us from north of the metro, then we'll get back to the metro and see if there's anything that jumps out to me as a potential rotating area. This is a little bit harder to see. I would say by Weston maybe. There might be a little something over here between Weston and Leavenworth. That area right there, there's a little something. It's not much. It just, there you go, it just popped up. I also noticed, see the bright colors of the red? There's your straight line winds. That's out ahead of that. So potentially something could try to spin up here. This would be just north of Leavenworth. Let's look at that. And then I want to look at the straight line winds with that severe thunderstorm. So that'd be like Weston, Platte City. So this is essentially an extension of the same warning that we had, because this is one area that was being monitored for a potential tornado, some rotation right here just south of Leavenworth, and then there's a new one that's up here. I don't think it's quite as stout. Let's check the winds, see what they are at this leading edge. And 56, that's not as strong as what we had seen to our south. Just east of Leavenworth is another bright spot. So 60, that goes with the warning. The warning is saying 60-mile-per-hour winds. Let's track this new area. I zoomed in a little bit too much here. Let's pull this back out, and we'll track this spot up by Weston, going northeast at 55. That could get near the Plattsburgh area. Also, horrendous driving tonight. I mean, being out on the roads tonight would just be a nightmare from the heavy rain alone and all the lightning, let alone the threat that these storms are bringing. So this one's going 50. So that would be Platte City at about 10:57, so 15 minutes or so. We'll see if this wraps up enough to become a tornado warning. Right now we don't think there's one there. It's just being kind of an early watch on it. Camden Point, that'd be 11:09, and 11:25 in Edgerton, and then Gower at 11:41. And then we're past the warning with that one. So see if there's anything else new with the one that we have that's a little bit further south. Do you have something, Melissa?
Yes, we do. So the National Weather Service is monitoring still some of those notches that are to the south towards the Spring Hill area. Okay. Just south of Garner, as we've been talking about, along that line.
That's these right here, yeah.
Yes, I'm standing right in front of it. So if you want to go ahead, or I can go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're looking towards the Spring Hill area. We are seeing some of those notches as we had talked about as this continues to move towards the east. So we can get possible some of those spin-ups, seeing some sort of indication of rotation in these storms. However, not enough to pull the tornado warning for this. But the National Weather Service and we are going to continue to monitor these storms to our south too. Still seeing the possibility of that little small notch of some rotation towards the Spring Hill area too. So that's the latest that I have in terms of the reports. And I think there was one more. Some reports of 55-mile-per-hour winds in the Leavenworth and Platte County area too.
Thanks, Melissa. Good information. And let's take a look. This is from Parkville, looking toward Riverside. Is that right? This camera that we have here, a lot of lightning. There you go. It's putting on a light show tonight. So that's what we'll be dealing with. Nighttime storms. It's going to be noisy, and some of us will have some stout winds to deal with, and maybe some spin-ups here. And these are going to be pesky to track. All right, so these are going to be the things that just kind of come up quickly, and that's why we're putting this out on our streaming platform, is because whenever you get these really brief type tornadoes, you got to be ahead of them because they can drop quickly and then they lift right back up. So we don't want to wait until we're sure that there's a tornado there. It's better to say, hey, this could have something with it. Be aware, treat it as though it's a tornado warning. So you can see our camera out there. It's really putting on a lot of lightning. So let's look at another area that's got some high winds, and then I want to show you the hail potential, and then I'm going to go back to Melissa and we'll do a track as this comes into, with that leading edge just on regular radar for entering the Kansas City metro. So where I see some stout winds right now, the straight line wind threat again, that'd be just north of Paola and south of Lacine. You see these two little bright spots. There's one right there and there's one right there that could be rather severe. Let's see what our radar is putting out. So it's got 62. That is severe thunderstorm level, but not super critical. And then around Paola, 60. So yeah, they're stout winds and a bunch of them. It covers a lot of ground all the way back to near Garnett, and then it extends up into the Kansas City area. That line right there could be severe. So let's get to the typical radar, and then I'm going to go to the hail, and then we'll go to Melissa with the radar. Not a tremendous amount of hail with these. Yeah, moving into the metro, you're probably going to get some pea size, maybe quarter size. We're not getting the big baseballs and really large, even ping pong. We haven't seen ping pong yet tonight, so let's see what some of these are doing. Around Ottawa, we've had some, and then Eudora. Yeah, these are penny, maybe nickels coming in. That's probably not even enough to damage your car. So good news there. Good news with the hail. Melissa, let's go to you with the track as the storms move in. When can people expect the storms?
Well, the storms are just about knocking on the Kansas City area's door. Around 10:48, we're expecting those to move into the area, and they have already encroached in on the 435 loop. If you live within the 435 loop, likely going to hear a lot of rain, heavy rainfall, some thunder, as well as see a lot of lightning, and could see some of those gusty winds as well. And so as we continue to see this move east at around 40 miles an hour, around 10:55 moving into the Arrowhead Stadium area, 11:01 into Independence, 11:08 in the Blue Springs area too. So we're watching this large line that basically encompasses much of from the Kansas City metro from north to south. And then we're going to continue to see this move around 40 miles an hour. So 11:08 the Blue Springs area, Lee's Summit around 11:11. By about 11:30, starting to see that move through Lone Jack. So going to move through these over into the Missouri side, within the next couple of minutes, as this is encroaching too on the 435 loop and heading on to the eastern side of the 435 loop. So going to continue to likely here within the next couple of minutes, heavy rainfall, see a lot of lightning, thunder, and then we're monitoring that potential for those strong gusty winds and those potential spin-ups along the leading edge of this line. Likely going to see some of that more stronger wind potential on the leading edge of this line as well.
Thanks, Melissa. And some good news with that is so far with this line that's coming in, it's been 60-mile-per-hour potential winds. You know, the threat today and into tonight is for higher than that, 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds. We saw that down here south of Mound City. This line's not doing that. It doesn't mean that it couldn't do it whenever it gets to the east. It certainly could. But coming into the metro right now, we're not seeing the huge straight-line wind threat that it could have done. But we're monitoring that, severe level winds, but 60 miles per hour. We see that on a somewhat regular basis. 70 plus is a different animal, and just not getting that yet, which is great. That's great news. The other thing is the spin-ups. You know, that's what we really have to watch closely tonight, is we want to get you out ahead of them. Okay, we're going to go, give us just a minute on streaming. We're going to go and do a live cut in on television. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, it is 10:48. We're breaking in for a severe thunderstorm warning as this moves into the Kansas City metro. It's a big line of storms that's going essentially from St. Joe down through the metro. This is the Kansas side of the metro. Platte County, Missouri, you're included in this. This goes until 11:15, and then down into Miami and Lynn counties. I'll put the radar on for you, and this is what we're monitoring, is this batch of storms that's coming in and producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and some small hail. So far, we haven't seen the really high winds, 70 to 80, that may happen later on tonight, but we're not seeing it at the moment. That's good news. But the reason why we're covering this so closely is there is a potential for some rotation. And we could have these brief spin-up tornadoes that drop rather quickly and then they lift rather quickly. And there's a threat for that within these storms as they move into the metro and north and south. And what I'll show you here is the warning. So this goes until 11:15 for the metro, Johnson County, Kansas, Leavenworth, Platte County, Wyandotte, and you see that tornado possible tag as we see these little notches within this line. There's one right there, there's one just to the north, and that's where we could see these tornadoes potentially want to drop rather quickly. We don't currently think that the rotation is tight enough to warrant a tornado warning. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but it bears watching. So if you're within this warning, you may want to treat it as though it is a tornado warning, especially if you're in one of the areas that has the notches. And where the notches are currently, as I go to the Doppler winds, is north and south of the Kansas City metro. I see one that's up here just north of Leavenworth. That'd be just west of 29. So let me zoom in on that. That's around Platte City. There's a chance that this could drop a brief tornado. That's going to be moving northeast at about 55. So next in line for that would be Dearborn and Plattsburgh, and then Stewartsville and Cameron. So I can get you a quick track on that. And then there's another one that's to the south that is very similar to this, and this is what we want to keep you ahead of tonight. So that'd be Camden Point at about 11:04. It's currently 10:50, so you've got about 10-15 minutes if you did want to take cover. It's not a tornado warning, but it's possible. It could drop a brief isolated tornado. And then Ridgely, that'd be 11:15, and then Gower by 11:36. That's past the warning time, but just an early heads up there. And strong winds, potentially 60 miles per hour moving into the west side of the Kansas City Metro. It's just past the 435 loop. And then this other little spot here that's not as pronounced now as it was earlier, but right around Olathe, there's a little bit of a notch here. So we're watching these areas where it kind of kinks a little bit. That's the spot where we could see a brief spin up. It's not strong. Don't think there's a tornado there right now. But just so you know, as we monitor these very closely, Lenexa 1113, Overland Park, that'd be 1122. That'd be on the north side of Overland Park. Oh, not necessarily. And then Mission, that would be 1130. So tracking that very closely. We're going to be with you all night long, and we're currently on our streaming platforms as we track these storms moving into the Kansas City Metro. This is probably the main event for us. And then once this line is through, the main severe risk will be moving eastward. So throughout the night, we've got a tornado watch that goes until 4 o'clock in the morning. Melissa and I are going to be monitoring these storms. We'll keep you ahead of any threat. We do still have the significant threat for high winds, damaging straight line winds, also the hail. So if you'd like to continue watching our coverage, you can go over to our website or our app, and we'll keep you ahead of the storms. We'll break in as necessary, especially if these storms get stronger. Thanks for watching. Okay, back on our stream platform. We just went live on television to break in. We will probably do that on occasion as we monitor these storms coming through. I just said that this is probably the main event for the Metro. And with this line coming through, it's got some stout winds with it, 60 miles per hour is possible, but we're not getting the hurricane force winds with this. We saw it just to the south. So some good news there. Severe thunderstorms, we get them sometimes. We can deal with these. Not huge hail with it either. The thing that we're going to be paying very close attention to are these little notches, these little spin-ups, and if we can get a, we don't want them, but if a tornado were to drop. We currently don't expect that. We just see that potential, and the National Weather Service has indicated that with their tornado possible tags. So that's what all of these warnings have. Every one of these has the potential to produce a brief tornado. There's a new warning that just popped up. I will investigate this, and then we'll go to Melissa and get a track on it, and also see if there's anything coming in on your end. So let's see what this new warning is. This includes Lee Summit and Excelsior Springs. See how it's got that tornado possible tag? They're going to put that on everything tonight. It could be in there. And they're really tricky to track, and they're brief. So Clay, Clinton, Jackson, and Ray County. So that would be Jackson County. Now we're into the Missouri side, and Clay County as well. So there's Clay County and Ray County, and we've got Clinton as well that's included in that. So Excelsior Springs, Lee Summit, KC Mo, all some spots included in this new warning. Let's see if there's anything else with it. 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. Kind of low winds, severe limits there. So let's see if there's any notches here that we got to worry about, where it could be producing some rotation, probably not a tornado. And it's an extension from what we'd seen previously. So it's a spot right here. What they're doing with this warning is they're monitoring this, they being the National Weather Service, as it's about to cross over into the Missouri side and say, hey, there's that spot, there's another one down here by Olathe, a couple little areas. They could have a tornado be produced. We don't expect it. It's just not out of the question with this little bit of rotation. Melissa, let's go over to you and get a track on these storms and that new warning that's coming in.
Absolutely. So I have tracked this out on the front side of these storms, as we're likely going to see more of that straight line wind potential, that spin up potential be along the leading edge of the storm. So as you can see, I kind of have built the track out along the leading edge of this storm. This is now picking up to around 50 miles per hour, moving towards the northeast. So around 10:58, moving into the Leawood area just after 11 o'clock, 11:04 into the Arrowhead Stadium area. So when I say that, I do mean that the leading edge of this system is building in to the Leawood area at 10:58, and then moving into the Arrowhead Stadium area at 11:04, 11:10 moving into Independence, 11:16 towards Lee Summit, 11:25 Blue Springs as well. So when I've been tracking this out, I've been tracking this out along the leading edge of the line so you can know when you're going to start to see heavy rain, lightning, a lot of thunder involved in this as well. And of course, we're going to continue to monitor the potential for those strong winds along the leading edge of the storm, as well as that potential spin up that we're monitoring in a few spots as we head through the next couple of hours as this continues to blow through the area. So has picked up by about 10 miles per hour, moving now 50 miles an hour, mainly to the northeast. So 10:58 moving into the Leawood area, 11:05 into Arrowhead Stadium, and then eventually by 11:10 moving into Independence. And it is right now 10:55. So in about 3 minutes moving into Leawood, about 10 minutes to the Arrowhead Stadium, 15 until Independence. So going to continue to see this move between about 40 or 50 miles per hour. That's how quickly we've been seeing this move throughout the course of the evening too. Luke, over to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, so just a reminder, we do have the tornado watch until 4. That means conditions are favorable. We see that right now with these tornado possibilities within these severe thunderstorm warnings, these little kinks, and that's what we're going to be tracking. So that goes until 4. So this is an overnight event, and some of us, especially east of Kansas City, you're going to want to stay alert tonight. It's a night where you're going to want to have a way to get warnings, and you might, be sleeping. So make sure that you've got your phone turned on and that it's charged up. You could lose power as these storms come through. And the First Warn 5 weather app, it'll alert you if you get anything. Also make sure that your emergency alert system on your phone, that's within your settings, that's clicked on as well. So if anything were to come your way tonight, you'd be ahead of it. You'd be able to get to safety if you need to as we watch these come on by. So it goes until 11 if you're in the Kansas, primarily the Kansas side. Once this main punch comes through this line that we're tracking, then the severe threat rapidly will drop off on the backside. It's really within that line and at the leading edge of that line. So if you've already had it, then the show's pretty well wrapping up for you. That's why this will expire here for some of our Kansas counties. That would be Franklin, Douglas, and Anderson at 11 p.m. unless they decide to extend that. We'll see, they being the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center. I want to show you the hail tracker. And Melissa, something else that we could do is, I bet a lot of people are wondering, when's this done?
Yes.
We could bring up the HRRR, the latest high-resolution forecast radar, what radar may look like as we go ahead. So you know in your area when to expect it, and you know in your area when you're done with it. So we'll pull that up here in a moment. Let's get to the hail tracker, because this is really some good news, is we didn't anticipate a huge hail threat today, and I'm not seeing that. So, cars likely okay. This is small stuff. Within the warnings that we have, there's a big line of warnings here. We're getting quarter size and less, nickel and penny generally. So you might hear some hail, you might get some small hail. These just aren't the kind of storms that make really large hail. They are the kind of storms that can make really powerful straight line winds, and they're the kind that can do these little quick spin ups. QLCS, quasi-linear convective system, is what we call this. It's a squall line, and squall lines tend to do that. You just got to watch them. Good news is with these two is they're not large, super powerful tornadoes that drop out of these. So there's our radar right now. As we go through the night, though, just again be prepared for the potential for downed trees, and be thinking of these warnings as kind of pre-tornado warnings. So we'll start up north and work our way south. There's a back line here too. It may be a second punch for you, but this is not a severe line. If you're looking at this and thinking, uh-oh, here we go again, the atmosphere is kind of worked over back there. It's not as unstable. You don't see as much lightning with that line either. This is the main one. That's the main show. Main show is coming through Kansas City right now. Once it's east of us, things will be winding down. We'll still have some storms for a while, but that'll be the main one. Okay, starting up here to the northeast, this is around St. Joe, Cameron, Excelsior Springs. You're included in the warning. Storm is moving up towards you. Let's take each one of these and see if we have any concerns with spin. Yeah, there'd be one over here by northwest of Smithville, right along 29. So that'd be west of Plattsburgh, Dearborn, and DeKalb and Weston, right about there. It's possible. You got something?
We just have a new tornado warning.
Oh, okay. Is it this storm?
Yes, this does include Smithville, as we were just talking about.
Okay. All right, we're going to break into television. You can see us there. Okay, so. All right, everyone, it is just before 11 p.m. and we're breaking in as we just had a tornado warning get issued. So what we've been tracking here are, it's a line of strong storms. Embedded within that is small areas of rotation that can drop brief tornadoes. And we've had the severe thunderstorms with a tag on them that have said tornado possible, where we've seen these rotation areas. And now that rotation has become strong enough around Camden Point, right along 29, to issue a tornado warning. We'll get to Melissa in just a moment and see if there's exactly what kind of warning this is. I believe it's a tornado possible warning. Yes. So there it is. So it's just, they're actually tracking one that's just to the south of it too. There's 2 spots of rotation here. I'm going to be surprised if this one just north of Platte City along 29 doesn't get a warning on it, because that's fairly stout rotation. But this line here between Platte City and Smithville, the National Weather Service thinks that the rotation's tight enough. We could get something to drop here. So if you're around Smithville, then you've got a tornado warning. Let's see how long this goes for. This just dropped on us.
Goes until 11:30.
Okay, let's pull this up so everybody can see it. This goes till 11:30. So this would be portions of Clay, Clinton, and Platte counties until 11:30. So that'd be northeast Clay County. There we go. And Clinton and Platte counties until 11:30. So that'd be Plattsburgh, Excelsior Springs. You're out of it. Here's 435 right here. So it'd be just east of 29, just south of Dearborn, and headed toward the Smithville area. So we see some strong winds here. And here comes our latest scan. There it is, right around Smithville. Yeah, it just really popped up there. So let's get a track on this. Again, if you're just joining us, new tornado warning. Let me get your bearings here. We are north of the Kansas City Metro. Here's the Kansas City Metro. Here's Smithville. Here's St. Joseph. And in between downtown Kansas City and St. Joe is Smithville. And you see this bright spot right here that just showed up on our latest scan. So this is right along 169 Highway. And if you're in Camden Point, it's past you. If you're in Farrellview, it's past you. This is racing northeast. Next is going to be Plattsburgh and Lathrop. And let's see, it's going, what are we going, 45.
45,
this one's going 45. So right here, who's next in line for this? There's 45 right there. Okay, so Smithville, 1105, essentially it's there. It's in Smithville. You want to be in your tornado safe spot. Don't think that this is a super powerful tornado, but there's potential for a brief drop here, and treat that as though you're under a tornado warning and you could take some damage. It's a dangerous storm. Plattsburgh, that'd be 1140, so that's toward the end of the warning. Here's Plattsburgh. Here's the end of the warning. After that, we've got Lathrop and Cameron, and there's Kingston and Hamilton, some spots that are going to be extending out past that warning. So we'll see if this, I don't anticipate these to spin all that long. They're probably going to wind up and then wind right back down. But in the meantime, around Smithville and around Plattsburgh and southwest of Plattsburgh, you want to be in your tornado safe spot. I know it's nighttime, and a lot of us are trying to go to bed, and you don't want to be dealing with severe weather, but this is what's coming in our way there. So this would be west of Holt and northeast of Farrellview. So severe thunderstorms, this line snakes its way down, entering Kansas City. Not seeing rotation here in the metro right now, but we're seeing potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's the spot with this new tornado warning just south of Edgerton. Okay, Melissa, let's go over to you, and you can take a look at it on regular standard radar and give us any reports or updates that you're getting.
We haven't had any new reports or updates too, but I want to show this entire line as we've been watching this line moving through the area, moving east-northeast at around 40 to 50 miles per hour. As we talked about, that tornado warning still north of the Kansas City metro area in between St. Joseph and Kansas City, moving towards the Smithville area right now. This is packing a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain as well. I'll get the lightning tracker on here too to be able to play this out. So as this continues to move towards the east-northeast, packing a lot of lightning, heavy rainfall, likely hearing a lot of thunder. We're monitoring this for the strong winds along the leading edge of this, but also what we've talked about, those quick spin-up tornadoes too. So just another check of the latest scan for our Doppler winds just towards the Smithville area. As we can see, the still just that orangey yellowish color, as well as the red just west of Smithville along the I-29 corridor. That's going to continue to move toward the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So the Lathrop, the Plattsburgh area, Holt, please be getting in your tornado safe place, as well as Smithville as well. So this is nighttime. It's hard to see these things, and we're going to continue to monitor you of any spin-ups or any possible spin-ups as we continue through the evening hours.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, so yeah, we've got a big line. I've just got the warnings on for you here. So it's all one consolidated line, and within that, you get these little spots that want to spin in it. And each of these has potential. Each of these warnings has a tornado possible tag on it. So we have to watch these closely because, again, they can spin up quickly. They don't last very long, but they drop. And we want to give you advance warning before they come in. And we see that rotation now strong enough up here in this tornado warning that is including portions of Platte County. So that'd be northeast Platte County and we would be looking at the northwest section of Clay County, and then southwest Clinton County, rather. So Clay County and Clinton County and Platte County included in this, but not the entire counties. So around Smithville right now, tornado warning. Let's get back to the Doppler winds and see if that scan has updated and moved. Last we saw it was right near Smithville, so let me just pause this and we'll put our warning back on here as well. There you go. So it's still around the Smithville area and cooking northeast. This thing's moving fast. Moving fast at about 45 miles per hour. So that would put it in Plattsburgh and that general area, and not a lot of time. And aside from that, the big threat for today has also been straight line winds. I'm gonna have to kick the warning back off, but let's see what kind of wind this is producing as far as straight line right around Smithville, because that could cause damage too. So there it is, 76 mile per hour straight line winds right around Smithville. Now this is a little off the ground. I'm not saying it's that strong at the ground. Here, let me pull the view up here a little bit so you can see what I'm pointing at. It's that spot right there. You could have potentially 70 mile per hour winds, near hurricane force winds. That alone is enough to knock trees over, knock them onto houses, and cause problems there. So on top of that, we see the potential for it could be dropping something. So that's why we're on air right now, is to let you know about that if you're up in the Smithville area. So it's just about to cross over from Platte County into Clay County. It's essentially in Clay County, and then next in line would be Clinton County, southwest Clinton County. Now, if your phone was going off and you're outside of this warning area that I'll kick back on, if you're in Liberty, you're okay. You're okay. Yeah, you've got a strong storm moving in. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but you're not under the threat here. Let me pull this out so you can see Liberty and Excelsior Springs. Here's Excelsior Springs, here's Liberty, here's the warning, okay? So you're included in the county. You may have had your phone go off, but that rotation is north of you. Speaking of that, check out some of these winds though by Liberty. Let's see how high some of these are. I'm gonna get rid of the warning again. It's gonna keep picking. See how that says tornado possible? That's just a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's what we have to watch all night. These pesky brief spin ups. Near 70 mile per hour straight line winds possible with that. Let's see what the warning is displaying for what the National Weather Service has issued with that. So around Excelsior Springs, they're saying penny-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds. So that's off the ground, but we're seeing signs that this storm may be strengthening a little bit in a straight line wind threat, but there's our tornado threat around Smithville. Let's get back to Kansas City. Tornado possible tag with that as well, though we're not seeing rotation in the metro right now. It's north. Here, let this load up a little bit. There we go. So you see that right there, that potential. So that's what all of these warnings will have tonight. And this is the main event, all right? So this is the main event for the metro. Once this line punches in, that'll be the worst of it, right at the leading edge. So it's crossing over now into the Kansas side. So Lee's Summit and south. Let's pull this out a little bit. Over by Harrisonville and Drexel. This is, once that comes through, then your severe threat's really going to wind down. You're going to get some really heavy rain, and you may have some small hail. We've not seen big hail with these, but the high wind threat and the potential for spin-ups is right here at this leading edge. So that's around Belton and Archie down toward Butler and crossing over from KCK into KC Mo right now. So Lee's Summit and Excelsior Springs, you're up next too for the severe thunderstorm warning. Let me, while we're here, see if there's anything else that bears watching since we have this tornado possible tag on all these storms. Is there anything that looks pesky? It's definitely, now, here's our latest scan up by Smithville, so it has curled to the north. It didn't go northeast, it's curled to the north up by Edgerton and just southwest of Plattsburgh. So this is 169 highway right here. Here's 29, it's east of 29, and this shot up. So that's where we could see some 70 mile per hour straight line winds, maybe a little spin up right there. And that should be moving northeastward towards Plattsburgh, but with that last scan, it kind of shot north. So maybe it could clip Gower, some places like that. So let me track that with our new scan, and then we'll go down the line. So that's, there we go, 45. So Trimble, that'd be 11:11, that's about 2 minutes, and Plattsburgh, 11:31, when you could have a potential tornado. This is a tornado warning. And then Lathrop, that'd be 11:43, and then Turney. Here's Cameron. You can see Cameron right here. That'd be 12:10. That's past the time of the warning. Let's see if there's anything else that we've got to watch here. And then Melissa will come to you, and we'll take a look at some cams, and let's see what else is going on with any of these storms.
We've got a little bit of rotation too. The National Weather Service has mentioned towards the Belton area as well as Grandview too, if you want to make your way down there. And then I'll get to this camera because you do have that pulled up.
Well, what I see here is maybe around Belton, there's a certain, see this right here? This is what these storms are going to want to do. See how it shoots in? This is high-level winds from upstairs in the atmosphere coming down and punching these lines through, and you get a little bit of a bow here, and that's where you could really get some stout winds. And at the north end of that bow, right around Belton, you could get a little spin up there. Now, it doesn't have the warning on it, doesn't have a tornado warning on it right now, but that's what Melissa was just saying that they're monitoring at the National Weather Service. But that's a stout line of storms. Let's see what these winds are looking like just north of Freeman and right along this line, 60 probably, something like that. Yeah, around 60-mile-per-hour winds with that, but it's being monitored, but not currently strong enough rotation to be considered a tornado warning. That's up here by just north of Smithville right now. Okay, Melissa, let's go over to you and see what you've got with reports, and we can show some cameras and also track these storms as they're moving through.
Yes, so can we pull back up the Briarcliff clamp? Yes, here we are. We're looking north. You could see a lot of lightning with this. We can hear heavy rainfall inside the studio. Cannot hear any thunder inside the studio, but we are on the first floor. But still seeing a lot of lightning, heavy rain. This is looking north. You can see lightning just lighting up the sky. And I do also want to look at, too, the amount of rainfall, if we can get the latest information. So as these storms have rolled through, of course, west to east first, it dropped over an inch in Lawrence. And as it's moving closer to the Olathe, Paola area, too, these update just about every hour. So we haven't got the latest updates in here with this yet. But this has dumped over an inch of rain in Lawrence. So we're likely going to continue to see heavy rainfall with this as well. A lot of frequent lightning, thunderstorms, and we're seeing this all along the leading edge of this long line of severe thunderstorms that we have moving through the metro at this time. And if we take a wide look at this, you can see packing a lot of lightning, quite literally dropping down from northern Missouri down to the I-49 corridor to our southern counties. The heaviest part, the leading edge, moving now through the Kansas City metro at this time. So expect heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning, thunder. We're watching that potential for those straight line winds, those spin ups possible along the leading edge of this line, which is usually what we get and what we see with this squall line of storms moving through the area. So with that, I have no latest reports from the National Weather Service. So Luke, I will send it back to you.
We always love it when that happens, because if we don't get a lot of reports, then that means that there's generally not a whole lot of impacts that are coming in. So it is nighttime, and it does tend to slow down at night, but that's a good sign. Now, what I've shown you here are the wind speeds all along this line. Not everybody's going to get severe weather tonight. Even if you're in a warning, you may not get severe weather tonight. It is showing up in these isolated areas, in these pockets where it's most intense. So if we look at Kansas City in the metro, we have some gusty storms moving through, but as I try to find what the winds are doing, they're below severe limits. We have the warning. It's possible to get some severe level winds within the metro, but that line's usually about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So heavy rain, a lot of lightning, but probably not too terribly strong at this point. Also around Lee's Summit, I tracked that one. Winds there 20 to 30, not too bad. We go up. Okay, we'll get back to the tornado warning here right after this. Wind speeds up by Excelsior Springs, they pick up about 60 miles per hour. And then up here, as we get closer to that tornado warning, which is why we're on the air right now, 70 mile per hour straight line winds possible. So that is an additional threat to the rotation part of the storm. So let's get back with the latest part of the warning. Yeah, I would imagine Platte County has been dropped. Let's see what that is. So Platte County, you're out of it. No longer a threat for most of Platte County, though. Right there on the county line, we do still see that high wind, kind of that curl right there. But you're out of the warning in Platte County. It does continue for sections of Clay County and Clinton County. So that's Plattsburgh. Let's see if they did any other updates with this warning. So it goes till 11:30. We've got another 15 minutes on that. And if we were to see a tornado, it would be just southwest of Plattsburgh. There's the latest update. So the scan came in. It's well outside of Platte County now. Now it's going through central sections of Clinton County. And the rotations there, so what we see is around Plattsburgh, that's some really high wind velocities that are coming in. So our Doppler winds are showing us that this is a straight line wind event right here. But embedded within that, we could have a little quick spin up. So that's what the National Weather Service is monitoring. Let's see what these winds are now with that latest scan. and I'm going to track where the most likely area that any tornado would be. Here we go. Let's look right here. That's a really bright spot that we have. So this would be, oh, that's our tornado warning. I want to see the winds potential with that. So I'm going to drop the warning here for a moment. And let's see what it's doing here just west of 35. 75 mile per hour. So this is a big area of straight line winds in portions of Clay and Clinton counties. Much of that's rather stout. So around Plattsburgh, what town would that be? Around Holt. So we could certainly have damage from that. If we were to have a spin up, it's lost a little bit of its identity, but probably right here around Plattsburgh, something like that, we could have something drop, a tornado. That's, again, why we're on air right now. So let's put a track on that. Northeast at 45. They're fast movers tonight. So that would be Lathrop at about 11:37. The warning expires at 11:30. We don't know that you'll still have that threat. Cameron, 12:03, again outside the warning. And then Kidder would be at about 12:21. So this may be transitioning away from a spin up into more of a straight line wind threat up here. We'll see what the National Weather Service elects to do here in about 15 minutes or so.
I do want to note too, there's a new report too from the National Weather Service for TMCI showing up to 66 knot winds at around 300 feet over the Trimble area. So expect straight line wind damage in town. So I want to say that 66 knots is around 71, 72 miles per hour, about 300 feet over the Trimble area. So very gusty winds, strong straight line winds are moving through the area in that tornado warned area at this time.
Yeah, that's what we were just looking at.
Yeah.
And it actually extends northward too. You know, the further that you get from the radar, the higher up in the atmosphere you're looking. So you would expect winds to be higher there. But this may make it down to the ground. So whenever we were on air earlier, we were talking about the potential for hurricane force winds. That's 66 knots would be hurricane force winds. That'd be greater than 75 miles per hour. So I think that's how this one is going. We continue with the tornado warning. But if you're in portions of Clay County, or not Clay County, rather, it's past Clay County, but in Clinton County, then especially around Plattsburgh, and you know, you even get up here into Stewartsville and Camden, that whole bright spot that you see that's jumping out, that's a lot of straight line winds that's pushing out. Excuse me, Platte County is out of it. Clay County, northern Clay County, you're still in it, and also Clinton County with that tornado warning. So some really powerful winds starting to show up there. I'm going to put a track on that whole section. And if you're out ahead of this, get ready for some potent winds as this is racing northeast. So this isn't so much for the area of rotation. So that would be Lathrop at about 11:22. You could have some 70 mile per hour winds. That could knock trees over. Lawson at 11:26 and Cameron 11:36. This will probably hold together better than these little isolated areas of rotation that we're seeing. And Polo, that'd be about 11:42. Again, tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's get back closer to the metro. There's another spot that we've been watching to the south that has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. Let's check in around Harrisonville and Lee's Summit. You guys are going to get kind of a stout part of this. So that part right there could have some 60, 65 mile per hour winds in it as well. That'd be around just east of Belton. Belton, it's past you. And Lee's Summit down to Harrisonville could have some really strong winds moving there. Let's get back to the regular radar. The main event is here for Kansas City in the metro. It's going to wind down here rather quickly, and then we'll be done with the big severe risk for tonight within the city. The leading edge right there from Harrisonville. There you can see our First Warn 5 weather tracker. They're out in it. They were caught in it earlier around Ottawa and caught the brunt of it as it was coming in. And now it's just driving. They had hail. It wasn't huge hail, but they had hail and horrendous on the roads. Just really, really bad on the roads. So Butler, you're getting into it right now. Harrisonville, severe thunderstorm warning up into Kansas City. Kansas City, it's going to exit us rather soon, and then it's going to be on toward Lee's Summit and places like that, Excelsior Springs, Odessa. You'll be next in line with that. And then the tornado warned portion that's up here. So this whole section goes up into St. Joe and then Cameron. There's Excelsior Springs and Smithville. So once you're in the really heavy rain and all the lightning, that's actually where the worst part of the storm may start to wind down for you. And then after that, once it really starts to, you're say 20 minutes past that first punch coming through, then you're pretty good for the rest of the night. All right, so then it's going to track northeast of there, past St. Joe, and then eventually up toward Chillicothe. This whole thing's going to go across the area. Everybody's going to be getting a little taste of this. So back to the warning, and then Melissa, we'll come to you. Let's let our viewers know when we can expect this to be wrapped up, so we can show them the forecast radar. I think that might be something that people would want to see.
Sounds good.
So let's see what the scan update is here on our winds. And I'm still not seeing tight rotation, which is great. Love to see that. But I am seeing a lot of wind up here still from Kearney to Holt. So there's Holt right here. Here's I-35. Here's Plattsburgh. Here's Stewartsville. All through this section, some damaging winds, and the kind that can blow trees over and damage houses. That's coming in. All that moving to the northeast. Excelsior Springs down to Liberty. Kind of Liberty, you're at the southern edge of it. So here's Liberty. You can see how the colors kind of drop off past that. But Liberty and north up to Plattsburgh and even west of Cameron, we could have near hurricane force winds in some of these spots. Not everybody would get that, but in a couple spots we could. Okay, Melissa, let's go over to you, and let's see when can we be done with this?
Yeah, some of us are almost on the done side for this. So I paused our satellite and radar now. We're watching this very heavy part down from the St. Joseph, Kansas City, down to Harrisonville, Butler, where we're seeing the darker reds, the oranges. That's the strongest part of the line of storms that we're watching. And at this time, it's almost totally pushed over the state line into Missouri. And with that, I'm going to toggle off the radar to show that we have seen the endings of some warnings for majority of our Kansas counties at this point. So there are still some pockets of Miami County and portions of Bates County as well, still included in that severe thunderstorm warning. But for the most part, the Kansas side of our viewers are done with these severe thunderstorm warnings. And if I toggle this back on to show our radar too, if we look back towards the west, towards Holton, Manhattan, we are seeing still a line of rain and thunderstorms. This is not severe at this time. However, while places like Eudora, Ottawa, starting to see more of that lighter rain, less active and heavy rainfall as the bulk of this line of storms has moved out of the way, we could still see some regular rain and thunderstorms build into the area from the backside of this system that could start to push in. But for the most part at this time, our Kansas counties have been cleared for that severe thunderstorm warning, and now we're watching the Missouri side as we are continuing to see the heaviest part and the strongest part of the storm move into the Missouri side and continue to move towards the east. So I do want to track this out now for you, as our model is doing a pretty good job at the real world conditions at this time. So here we are at 11 o'clock. It's 11:22, and so this is moving through the entire metro. As we talked about, from Maryville down to the Butler area, our model doing a pretty good job simulating that. So as we head past the midnight hour, we're going to start to see that leave the metro area and be more east of the I-35 corridor and start to continue to push towards the east out of the area. So after midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, moved past the Kansas City metro. We talked about it has now moved past the Kansas side, moved totally into the Missouri side. And then as we head into the 2, 3 o'clock in the morning time frame, that's when we really start to see that completely push out of our area, out of our eastern counties. And then we think by 4 a.m., we should be all in the clear with quiet conditions. And that's also the time that our tornado watch expires as well for portions of our Missouri counties.
Thanks, Melissa. All right, we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. What I think is going to happen is this tornado warning is going to be dropped, and this is transitioning, like we saw on radar, away from much in the way of a kink or a little spot that was spinning into more of big winds, big straight line winds here. So we've got a new, rather large severe thunderstorm warning. If I'll kick the radar off for you, and I'll kick the lightning off, and you can see the new one. And it's essentially an extension of this line that's up here around Smithville and Excelsior Springs. So let me put this on for you. So this is going to be portions of Caldwell County, Clay County, Clinton County, Ray County, and the threat is considerable. It still says tornadoes possible, so we're going to watch that all night long. Anything here could have a little area that wants to, kind of drop a tornado. But through this zone, they're saying 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible. And that's what we were just looking at moments ago, getting up near or possible hurricane force winds, and that's over a broad area. If we saw a tornado, that's a threat. It's certainly a tornado's a hazard for sure. But that would be very isolated. Where this wind threat is kind of expanding and growing in its strength, I think that's going to turn into the larger threat here rather soon, and we'll see if the National Weather Service in 6 minutes elects to continue this tornado warning. They may, but they are already extending this severe thunderstorm warning, and out ahead of that, with this tornado spot that you see here in the red box, this is a lot of wind. It's a lot of high wind, and I'm going to show you where I see it as the highest. So Excelsior Springs, Cameron, you're included in this new warning as well. This goes until, should be 11:45. Yes, it's until 11:45. So around Hamilton and Polo and Lawson. So that's what we see with this. Let's go and spot some of the highest winds. It's a lot. There's quite a bit here. So right around Holt, so 35 in Clay County. It extends up into Clinton County too. So Clay County, Clinton County, even DeKalb County. Where you see these bright spots here. So around Plattsburgh, just east of Plattsburgh. Let's see what it's punching out now. That would be 72. So we're getting 70-mile-per-hour winds on our Doppler radar with this storm as it's passing through. Could be a little spot right there that the National Weather Service is watching just north of Plattsburgh. It's not much to see on radar, but there's a chance of a brief tornado. Here's another one up by Camden. This is getting pretty far from the radar, so the winds may be a little bit more enhanced than what they would be at the ground level. 70-mile-per-hour winds possible there. So essentially a big line here going through several counties of potentially 70-mile-per-hour winds. I don't think it'd be as strong around Liberty. Let's see what we have here. It's still stout. That's a severe thunderstorm. Yeah, it's 55 that we're seeing here. So there's 55-mile-per-hour winds. I clicked right here by Liberty. You know, severe level winds there, but we get north and it's even stronger. So let's track that whole line out and treat that like a tornado warning because of the wind knocking over trees threat. So I'll put it right here at this leading edge and moving northeast at about 45. That's a little bit fast. It's a little bit fast. I'm going to redo that. So right here, and then northeast at about, there we go, 45. Okay, so Camden, essentially there now, it's already there. Cameron would be next in line at about 11:33, and then Kidder at 11:45. That's the end of the new warning, the new severe thunderstorm warning, but it's not your typical severe thunderstorm warning. It is a considerable threat because of these high winds at maybe 70+ miles per hour. But just so you know, Kingston, Hamilton, it would be heading your way before midnight as it tracks northeast at that speed. We do have our mobile weather tracker out, our First Warn 5 weather tracker. Are they still out? And if they are, we could pull them up and see what they've been going through because they've been on the roads and the roads have just been horrendous. Let's get back to the metro. If we get that, let me know. There's our there you can see it in the corner. Getting better. Earlier we couldn't even see through that. So in Kansas City, everybody, this is settling down. We do still have the warning, but especially through the metro, we're on the back side of this. And our risk is going to drop off here. If you're on the Kansas side, it's pretty well done. If you're on the Missouri side, it will be done rather soon within the Kansas City metro. Let's check the winds here because that's the main threat. And around Lee Summit, we got a little something, but just not high winds. You're not seeing bright colors and super high winds within the metro. I mean, let's see what the Doppler's putting up. Okay, 10, 15, 20 miles per hour. All right, Melissa, let's see what you have. Power outages is a concern tonight. You seeing anything on your end there?
Yes, I have a kind of power outage map behind me at this point. Around 15,000 customers are out of power at this time. On our Facebook Live, I've also seen comments of power being out in the Independence area. So this is either along or ahead of that leading edge that we have seen blow through the area. So many areas south of Kansas City and the Kansas City metro immediately. So seeing that towards places like the Kansas City Zoo, seeing some power outages over there towards the Leawood area, as well as we've seen some power outages too where we had that tornado warning near the Smithsville, the Trenton area as well. So also saw some power outages, or still seeing power outages there at this time too. So people are reporting to us that there are some power outages across the area, around 15,000 customers at this point. So along this line, we have seen some strong winds, a lot of lightning, and as well as heavy rainfall. And I do want to add too, as I've been monitoring our Facebook comments, a lot of people have been talking about their animals. Their animals are trembling from the very loud thunderstorms that we've been having. And I find that my dog also has the same issues, but we use something called a thunder shirt that you put on your dog, and it's kind of, the dog can react to static electricity too. So I found that my dog Paisley does a lot better when we put a regular t-shirt on top of her, so the electricity is not so static for our pets, and that has helped me. However, she doesn't have a huge, sound issue, but I do want to point that out too, that we are seeing your comments and we are worried about your pets too. So maybe a thunder shirt will help them just like it helps my dog Paisley.
All right, thanks, Melissa. All right, so we have our First Warn 5 mobile weather tracker there on 635 North. This is near Riverside, and yeah, it's getting better. Kansas City in the metro, we're getting better, okay? So we're not seeing anything horrendous on radar, and we're on the back side of this main line. Again, it's the leading edge of that. That's going to be the worst. There is something I do want to show you here that I just popped up on my Doppler winds. It's not too far from Lee's Summit. So Lee's Summit, you're in the thick of it right now. It's coming down hard, but you've got a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see, this goes in Lee's Summit. We've got several warnings. It's all one big severe. So this is 11:45. So we've got another 15 minutes on this. So be looking at Clay County where a tornado is possible. So what I've been doing whenever Melissa is giving some updates on her end is checking for possible rotation. And I see something that I didn't really like around Lee's Summit. I want to show it to you. It's this little spot here. Let's pause this. Just southwest of Grain Valley and Blue Springs. So this is the kind of thing that can come up on us quickly. That little bright spot right there, that could be something trying to get going as far as a tornado. Doesn't have a tornado warning on it? Oh, do we have a tornado warning?
We do have a new tornado warning, yes.
There you go. I saw that and I did not like it, and now it is up. So let's get this warning.
That's
exactly what it is.
Yes.
So the National Weather Service was on that too. So that just happened. And Melissa, while she was checking that out, I was looking at these winds. So let's get the latest with this warning. So Jackson County, we're talking Missouri here, just northeast of Lee's Summit. Lee's Summit, you're not under the threat of a tornado, but around Grain Valley, this is something that could be producing. We'll see. We'll see if it's got a... Yes, so here's your latest warning. Just pop this up for you. This goes until midnight. Jackson, Lafayette, and Ray counties in Missouri, this goes until midnight. So let me pop that back up. And again, until midnight. So this is going to be eastern Jackson County in Missouri, and then northwestern Lafayette County, and then south central Ray County. So this is Ray County, Lafayette, and then this is Jackson. And what we see here is this just came up. In fact, I'll show you how quickly these things are going so you get an idea of how difficult these will be to track, and that's why we have these tornado possible severe thunderstorm warnings tonight. I'll just take you back a couple moments. There it was. This was 11:21, so about 10 minutes ago. There really wasn't much there. And watch this bright spot just out of nowhere kind of pop up. That's what these can want to do tonight. It'd be a brief, isolated little spin-up tornado, but it'd be just northeast of Lee's Summit. Let's see some other areas. So around Blue Springs, you want to be in your tornado safe spot in case there's something there. Great. We're not sure. This is not a confirmed tornado. There's I-70, so this is right along I-70. Here's Oak Grove. It's moving northeast at, what do we have, 50 miles per hour. So it's moving fast. So Oak Grove would be next. It'll cross over I-70 here rather quickly. It won't take any time to do that. Odessa, you're out of it. Lake Lafayette, you're out of it. Lake Lotawana, you're going to be out of it. And then it's up by Napoleon. So let's get a track on that. And Higginsville, you're not included. Wellington, you are included in this warning. So right there, 50 miles per hour. It's cooking. This thing's moving really fast. All these are really moving tonight. So Grain Valley, you've got about 10 minutes. 11:44 for Grain Valley, potential tornado there. So new tornado warning. We'll go back to the other one here in a moment if it didn't get dropped. We'll see in a moment. We had one to the north by Smithville. Wellington, that'd be 12:18. Lexington, 12:34. So that's after the warning is done. The warning is set to go until midnight. So we've got about a half hour on this warning. And just an early heads up if you're outside of that midnight deadline. So there's that one. Let's go up to the north. Yes, the other one was dropped. So we had a tornado warning that was up here by Smithville and Cameron. And what happened is we transitioned into damaging straight line winds, like really powerful straight line winds, potentially hurricane force up here. And it's over a rather large area. So that would be around Cameron, along 35 and Turney, and down toward Lawson. So that would be the eastern sections of Clinton and DeKalb counties. That's going to be moving eastward, so that'll get Caldwell County next. and then also up into Davies County. Strong, not your typical severe thunderstorm warning there. So there's our tornado warning. Let me get you the traditional Doppler. And you can see how it's embedded in that little spot where we see the rotations embedded right about there. So it's just past that leading edge of the line of rain. So you can get rain and then right behind it, something can kind of be caught up in that rain. So Lexington would be moving to the northeast. Go ahead, Rhett. Oh, did we get
Yes,
Bates?
we
Was
have
that? We've got a new one. So
yes.
a new tornado warning. Now we're tracking. So that's what's going on here, Melissa, is we're getting, that's the threat. And that's why we have the tornado watch. It goes until 4. Now, Kansas City, we're rapidly dropping out of this, but a new tornado warning. So these little small areas that want to spin up on us. That's why we got to watch them so closely. Let's go down here and check this one. So we've got Bates County. So now we're in Kansas. This is all Kansas stuff now. Cass and Henry and Johnson County. This would be in Missouri. So let's get our bearings here a little bit. So Cass County, southeast Cass County, northeast Bates County. Here's Johnson County in Missouri and Henry County in Missouri. So Henry County in Missouri and then Johnson County in Missouri. Moving northeast at, what's this one going here?
It is going 40 miles an hour.
This one's not quite as fast. So let's get a track here and let me find out where it would be. I'm going to bet it's just southwest of Urich. Yeah, there it is, just south of Garden City. We were watching this one earlier. So this is south of Garden City. Adrian and Butler, you're out of the risk with this, but as we get to Blairstown and Leeton, let's get the warning on top of here too. So yeah, you're under the tornado warning in Blairstown and Urich. It's just southeast of Garden City. Pretty good little rotation right there. That's one of the better ones that we've seen today. So certainly capable of producing a tornado. It is not confirmed, but it is Doppler indicated. Let's track this one at 40. So 2 tornado warnings now. And a big severe thunderstorm warning just got popped on there too. We'll look at that in a moment. That's going to cover a lot of people. So Urich, that'd be 11:58. It's 11:36 now. Blairstown at 12:12. And Chilhowie, that would be 12:25. Leeton would be 12:43. So that is our new tornado warning. We're tracking 2 of them. One of them is just east of the Kansas City Metro. We're looking over here in there's that big severe line. So this is over by Grain Valley. We lost really rotation with this one. Let me take it back a moment. You see how we had that kind of bright red next to some green? Now it looks like this one may do what the other one did that was up to the north moments ago. There's still a spot there. It did cross over Oak Grove, or over 70, just west of Oak Grove. If there's a tornado, it would be right north or right over Grain Valley. It'd be right there. There could be something there. I think that this is starting to turn into a line of really strong winds. Let's see what these winds would be with this tornado warning. Right around Grain Valley, let's get the warning off. So that goes till midnight. Jackson, Lafayette, and portions of Ray County included in that. And the wind here, let's see, 64. So it's pretty stout. So this line right here is getting rather strong. And you see how that whole edge, that whole line right there, all of that would be strong, severe straight line winds. And embedded within that, you can get these little quick spin ups. So let's get to the other one to the south. You can really spot it here. And here's your warning. There's your new warning. And a big area out ahead of it, that is a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to include Chilhowie and Warrensburg and Clinton. This is where, let's see what they're saying for winds here.
60 mile per hour and penny-sized hail for those severe thunderstorm warnings.
Okay. Melissa, why don't we go over to you and you can track let's put a new track on the northern storm. Okay. And then I'll track the southern storm after you're done with that.
Sounds good. All right. So here we are, the tornado warning that goes until midnight for Jackson, Lafayette, and Ray. I'm going to pull the radar off of this so we can kind of see a little bit better, or I'll actually turn on this and put on our velocity. So we talked about kind of losing, should be right here along. It's hard to see because we are in red for away from the radar, but also our red tornado warning box. So the tornado warning box goes from Blue Springs to Oak Grove, down to Mayview, back up to Richmond and Buckner as well. Wellington, you're included in this. Oak Grove, you're included in this. And so we're going to put a tracker on it. Looks like we're going to see the isolated area that we're watching around the Highway 40. So I am going to track this out. It's just moving around 40 miles an hour. And so, here we go. Okay. So, we're talking this moving into the Oak Grove area around 11:47, so in about 8 minutes. And if you are in Oak Grove, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place. Around 11:54 towards Bates City, 12:15 moving into the Wellington area. So within the next 25 minutes, moving into Oak Grove, Bates City, and Wellington. So if you are in any of those locations, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place. As we see some radar indicated rotation, this is moving around 40 miles per hour. So continue to get into your safe place if you're in the Oak Grove, Bates, Wellington area, as this is going to be moving into your area over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Particularly into Oak Grove, be getting in your tornado safe place at this point right now, as we can see some of that rotation moving closer into your area. So this warning goes until midnight tonight. This also includes, I would want to say, 60-mile-per-hour winds as well. So as we continue to see this move towards the northeast around 40 miles per hour, please make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place. And I want to see too, if we get the latest scan of the winds here, we should in just a second. But still looking like seeing just towards the Green Valley area. As I mentioned, it's kind of hard to see the warning box. Green Valley in your tornado safe place. The Wellington area needs to get in your tornado safe place as well, as it's hard to see on this particular Doppler wind graphic because we have that red background. I'll pull it back up with the Doppler too. You're likely seeing some heavy rainfall, some frequent lightning with this as well. This is on the leading edge of this large line of storms moving through the area. So a lot of lightning, some heavy rainfall as well, moving it through the Green Valley area. Make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place. Downstream, Wellington as well, get in your tornado safe place. So that's the latest update we have with our northern tornado warning. Luke, I'll send it over to you for the one to our south.
All right, thanks, Melissa. All right, so yes, going southward. So here's the one that Melissa was just on. Now we're going to go down into portions of Cass, Bates, Johnson, and Henry counties in Missouri with this spot. And this, if there's a tornado, we're not sure that it's one. If there's one there, it'd be embedded in rain. It'd probably be a brief thing that could drop and then lift and then drop and then lift back up. It'd be just west of Urich. All right, so now we're crossing over from really Bates and Cass and getting into Johnson County, or rather Henry County, and then tracking up toward Johnson County. This is in Missouri. So this warning here goes until midnight. This one just kind of popped up rather quickly. Here's the track on this one. If there's a spot, it'd be right there. It'd be right about there, just west of Urich. Let's see what kind of highway that we have here. So around Creighton and southeast of Garden City. Blairstown, you'd be next. This is 7 Highway. Here's 7 Highway right here. Here's Creighton. Possible tornado just south of Creighton. Be just west of Urich. If you're away from this and you're to the west of Creighton and kind of the county line, Cass and Bates and Johnson and Henry, if you're west of that line, if you're over here, you're still officially in the warning in this zone, but the rotation's past you. So there are some spots that are in the clear. But this one's tracking northeast at about 40, so that's going to be by Blairstown. This warning goes till midnight. Let's see when you can expect it. So Chilhowie, you're not officially included in the warning, but it's coming in that general direction. So that'd be essentially Urich and 11:51, so you got about 10 minutes. It's kind of there. It's kind of there already. And then Blairstown by 12:04, so that's just past the warning time, and then about quarter after for Chilhowie as it gets as it moves across the county line up to the north there. So that's our warning. That would be for portions of Bates, Cass, although it's exiting that area, and into Johnson and Henry counties in Missouri. So 2 active tornado warnings right now. Let's check in on the metro because the severe portion of the wind is gone. That's why we had so many severe thunderstorm warnings. That has moved out. So it's all right here. That big leading line is pretty easy to spot. That's what's rolling east. So Kansas City, we're pretty well in the clear tonight. We're still going to have some storms around. It's going to be kind of noisy. We're going to have some rain, but the severe threat's really dropping off for us here. But 2 active tornado warnings.
We just have a third now, too, for Johnson County,
Oh,
Missouri.
yes. Yes, it did. So we're in Johnson County, Missouri. Here's a new one They're just left and right. They're just dropping left and right with these tornado warnings. The thing is, we're not sure that there's a tornado here. If we were, then this would be a confirmed tornado. We're just not seeing that. But the potential's high enough for something that if we waited until, or if the National Weather Service waited until they were really sure that there was something there, it'd be too late. That's just not the nature of the storms tonight, where you can have that luxury of, oh, it's really, really starting to rotate. These brief little spots that come up. Here's one right about Holden. So just west, there's two areas right here near Holden, just west of Holden in Johnson County, Missouri. Warrensburg, you're going to be included in this. That one, let's see what the warning time is here.
That is until 12:15.
There you go, 12:15, Johnson County. It's just Johnson County. This is one that's just one county. So let's see if one of these stands out more than another. I don't think they do. These two little spots here just around Holden, some other towns. So this would be southwest of 50 Highway, right around Kingsville. So Kingsville in Johnson County, this is west side of Johnson County, Missouri. There's a spot right there, and there's another one here. Either one of those could have something try to drop, and rather quickly. Wouldn't be anything super powerful, but if you're in that area, you want to get to your safe spot. Even if you don't get a tornado, you'll probably get strong winds, 60, 65 miles per hour, not out of the question there. So let's put a track on this one, going 40. This one's moving along here, there's 40. So that'd be Centerview, 1209, Skyhaven, 1216, Warrensburg, 1224, and then Montserrat, that'd be about 1239. So that's our warning there. This one goes until 12:15. So a lot of those towns are outside of the official warning time. So Johnson County, Missouri has 2 tornado warnings right now. There's the brand new one that's in the center and western part of the county. Then the southwestern part of Johnson County, Missouri. We've got this one just to the west of Chilhowie. This is this area right here that's moving in out of Cass and Bates County. That's also into Henry County. So it's about to cross over into Henry County first, and then eventually into southwestern Johnson County. And then that little snaky line right there with some kinks in it, that's further north into Johnson County. So 3 active tornado warnings right now. I'm going to go north, and then we're going to work our way south through all of these. All right, so let's get up here by Grain Valley. If we have a tornado warning here, it would be, there's kind of 2 bright spots that stand out to me. One of them is just southwest of Napoleon. That's probably the best shot if something were to happen. But there's another one that's up here by Buckner. This warning, there's a chance that there's a new one gets issued on that. I'm watching right here, southwest of Napoleon, tornado warning in this area. So Wellington, just southwest of you. This is 24 Highway, so it's southwest of 24 Highway, southwest of Napoleon. There's a chance that there could be a tornado there wrapped up in this rain, moving in the general area of Wellington. There it is. They just issued another tornado warning off this spot, so now we have 4. We're up to 4 active tornado warnings. I'll get to that one in just a moment. Did they drop? No, it just got lost here. So let's track each of these spots. It's just these little bitty areas that we're seeing show up on our Doppler winds. You may not be used to seeing these, or maybe you are. The traditional radar wouldn't help us tonight to track tornadoes, so that's why we're showing you these kind of odd colors of the red and the green. That's the wind within the radar. So Wellington, 1205, that'd be coming up in about 15 minutes. You've got a chance of a tornado moving in. Lexington, 1221. Do we have another one?
No.
Okay. 1221 in Lexington, 1234 in Hardin, and Dover Station, 1243, potential tornado. Take your precautions. Here comes a new scan. Just moved. So now it would be right over Napoleon, or just east of Napoleon. So I'd say it's between Napoleon and Wellington. We just got that latest scan in with that warning. So that's one. Here's the new one over by Buckner and Oric. Is that where that one popped up? Yes, over there by Oric. So it's kind of hard to see the warning. Here's the warning box right here. That's the new tornado warning. It's kind of difficult to see, but it'd be around Oric. And that one goes until 12:15. So this is in Ray County. We're talking Ray County, Missouri here. So Rayville, one spot, Richmond. You've actually got kind of 2 tornado warnings in Richmond. So let's put a track on this one, going through Ray County, Missouri. There we go. And it's going 45. This one's going northeast at 45. They're all between 40 and 45 miles per hour. So Floyd, that'd be 11:49. Richmond, that'd be just after midnight. This warning goes till 12:15. Dockery, 12:21. Then you're outside of the warning there. So Georgeville, we're going to keep eyes on this for you, and Black Oak at 12:57. A little closer inspection We didn't really zoom in on some areas here. So it's southwest of Richmond. This is east of Missouri City. Southeast of Miltondale. This right here is 210 Highway. It's right over Oric, potential tornado there. This is 10 Highway. It's south of 10 Highway. It's going to be moving toward Richmond, or maybe just west of Richmond, but in that general direction, northeast. So tracking that one. So that's tornado warning number 1. We just did tornado warning number 2 near Napoleon. That spot right there, moving to the northeast, Lexington, a spot that could be under the threat of that. And you notice all the bright reds here, that's all super high winds, 60 plus, maybe 70 in a pocket or two. Now let's get down here. So we're back into Johnson County in Missouri. So this is going to be moving toward probably northeast of Warrensburg. Difficult to figure out, it's probably this little spot right here. There's 2 areas in Johnson County, Missouri with this warning that are along and west of 50 Highway. So it's east of Kingsville, it's north of Holden. These 2 areas, either one could drop a brief tornado. Let's see who else is in here. So south of Pittsville would be the we'll call it number 1 rotation area in Johnson County, trying to keep all these straight for you. South of 50 Highway, right along 131 Highway, where 50 and 131 kind of meet up around Pittsville, just south of there. And then here's another spot that jumps out to me. It's a little bit further south. We're really zooming in here. This is rural area, not seeing much as far as communities to relay to you. And that one's north of Holden. So I'm going to track both of those at the same time because it could honestly be anywhere within there. If there were a tornado, we don't know that there is. It's just a possibility. It's going to right about 40. So that'd be Robbins at about 12:09, Farmers School at 12:11, and then Fayetteville 12:13. And again, this is Johnson County, Missouri, and moving to the northeast, Mount Olive at 12:20 with that warning there. So Warrensburg, you're in the warning in Warrensburg. Looks like the greatest threat could be just north. Might track just to the north. We'll have to monitor that. All right, down we go. Tornado warning number 4. This is by Urick, just north of Urick. Let's see who's got the best shot. I'd say around Creighton, possibly. This one's lost a little bit of rotation. Let's go back a couple scans. It's not quite as stout as it once was. Like seeing that. Looks like this one may be coming down a little bit, but a potential tornado just east of Creighton, just northwest of Urick. Here's Blairstown, and a line of strong to severe winds moving in. So this moved out of Cass and Bates. And now this is in Henry County. So this is northern Henry County, southern Johnson County with this warning. I believe this one goes until midnight. This was one of the earlier ones that developed. Yeah, that goes until midnight. And let's track this one for you too. Okay, put a real quick track on this and we'll jump over to you, Melissa, here in just a few moments. So this one's going 40. And some towns that would be included would be Maureen at about 12:06. It's after the warning. We'll see if it gets continued. And 12:20 in Chilhowie. Go ahead, Melissa. Sounds like you might have some information to share.
Yes. So the National Weather Service, Luke and I have been looking at possible of these notches over the last several hours. He has gone over the Oric, a little bit of rotation in Oric, and that's what we're going to look back at right now. I don't have Oric right now on the map, but we're looking at a small area of this green and this red. If you can see this right here, this is mainly over the Oric area right now. So I did put a tracker over this as the National Weather Service is monitoring a possible tornado right now moving through Oric. So if you are in Oric, make sure in your tornado safe place. I tracked this out for us as it moves to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So at 12:12 a.m. Richmond, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place as this is going to continue to move towards the northeast at 40 miles per hour. As I had mentioned, seeing that rotation around the Oric area, right where I'm circling, where that green and that red are meeting up a little bit closer. This continues to move it towards the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So Richmond, get in your tornado safe place. This is going to be moving in around 12:12 a.m. Around 12:33 in the Millville area. 12:40, we're getting out to about an hour from now. So this line of storms continues to move. So the Rockingham area in about an hour. So the immediate places that do need to get in your tornado safe place is going to be in the Richmond area and Oric, as we're watching that possible rotation, that little notch that we've been talking about over the Oric area right now and moving it towards the northeast. So this is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. We're going to continue to look at this as we head through the warning time as well. So that's the latest information information I have with this little notch that we're tracking. If you're in Oric, make sure you're in your tornado safe place. If you're down the line in the Richmond area, this is going to be moving to you around 12:12. So in about 15 minutes or so, make sure you are getting in your tornado safe place. And it looks like too, we just got a new update, a new scan on this, and it looks like it is not, it's a little bit harder to see now if we pull this off. Okay, so we've got Oric right here. There are, if I can get this to move. And it looks like it was extended for 15 minutes.
Yeah, this one of our, this is in Johnson County, Missouri. So let's kind of regroup, get our bearings here. Kansas City, we're in the clear. All right, in the metro, we're in the clear. We still have thunderstorms rolling through. The main punch, that first line's out. It's done. We've already dropped the tornado watch in Franklin, Douglas, and Anderson counties, and Holt County in Missouri, Atchison County, you're all out of that. The tornado watch still goes till 4. For the rest of us to the east, but for Kansas City, we're done. All right, so this severe threat's wrapped up. So let's go back to Johnson County here for a moment. We just got this one extended. So this is just north of Warrensburg. So this is Johnson County. You have two. There's 2 active tornado warnings right now. Let's check the latest with this. So let's see how long this was extended for North Central. It's kind of a small little tornado warning. Goes till 12:15 for northern Johnson County. Let's see where the tornado would be if it's there. If it's there, it would be wrapped in rain. It's showing up. It's showing up. It's about ready to cross up to the north, so then toward Lafayette County possibly could be extended into that. Let's see how it's tracking. Put a loop on this for you. Yeah, see how it just kind of, that little spot, that little notch right there, that's all it takes. That's all it takes with these. Not a tremendously strong signature as far as tornadoes go, but enough that we could get a little spin up over here. So this is now north. We were talking about you earlier in Pittsville. Pittsville, you're out of the threat of a tornado now. Fayetteville, you have the risk. It continues through Fayetteville. We're looking at northern sections of Johnson County in Missouri with this new tornado warning goes till 12:15. So just after midnight. It's going at about 40. So let's see what the timing would be here. It's almost moving a little bit northeast. I'm kind of surprised that Lafayette County didn't get included in this. So I'm gonna focus on some of you there because southeastern, especially Lafayette County, it might try to cross over. So Fayetteville 12:15. That's the warning. That's the end of the warning. And then after that would be Earnestville. That's at 12:33. And then Concordia. You know, now we're well past the warning, but just an early heads up in case that thing wants to stay. It might cross over into Lafayette County. Southeastern Lafayette County. That would be about 12:45. So a new extension with that. While I'm kind of looking at some of these storms, Melissa, if you would check the chat and see if anything's coming through there, if you're getting any reports on Facebook or Twitter as these are passing on through. Viewers, if you have anything that's happened in your area, you'd like to share it with us, we've got our Facebook stream up. Share that with us and we'll tell everybody else about it. That'd be very helpful. You know, it's nighttime. Some people are in bed. We're not getting a lot of reports, and that's a good thing whenever we don't get reports because it means that there's not a significant number of people that are being impacted. But we do have 4 active tornado warnings right now, and we want to get out as much information as we can. So I'll go down. It's been a little while since we've been here by Creighton in Urick. We talked about Oric earlier. That's much farther to the north. So now we're down in Urick. This spot right here, just southwest of Chilhowie, could have a tornado. This would be just south of Blairstown. So here's Blairstown, here's Norris, and here's Maureen. In that general area, we could have a potential tornado. So let's see if this one has been extended. These are just kind of popping up left and right. So this one's only got 2 minutes left on it. I'm going to imagine this one gets extended. We'll see what the National Weather Service does. Still see some fair rotation there. It's kind of broad, but it's possible that we could get something out of that. I'll track it for you, so it's kind of at the end of the warning time. Looks like maybe it just got swapped over. We'll see. Swapped over into a potential severe thunderstorm with a tornado possible tag. So 40 with this one, so that'd be Maureen. It's essentially there now. Norris at 12:05 and then Leeton at 12:32. Not really worth going a whole lot further past that. Kind of an early heads up in Bowen and Bristle Ridge. We'll see. But we just see a little spot there. That's the reason why this one had a tornado warning and again moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So that was portions of Johnson County, southern Johnson County. So Johnson County, you've got 2 in Missouri, and then also Henry County. It's located right now in Henry County.
And it looks like, too, the National Weather Service is going to let the tornado warning for Lafayette and Ray counties expire at midnight. So that includes the Wellington area, Lexington as well. However, there are portions of Ray County that still have the tornado warning to the north. So this is just Lafayette and Ray. The tornado warning that includes Wellington and Lexington likely going to be let expire in about a minute or so once we get to the midnight hour, too.
Okay, good info. Thanks, Melissa. Let's, we've been talking a lot about the straight line wind threat here too. Let's see if any of that has adjusted. Earlier we were seeing 70-mile-per-hour winds on our Doppler. Let's see if some of that is still there. So 60s, here's another one. This is down in Johnson County, Missouri. We were looking at Ray County. So this is Ray County, could have 60-mile-per-hour winds there. And then where there's Lafayette, there's Johnson County in Missouri, 60, 65. They've come down a little bit with the really intense high-end straight line wind threat. Not seeing the 70, 75 that we had earlier, but some of us may have experienced that in small pockets. Again, Kansas City, we're out of it. Look at our winds here. I mean, you don't see any bright colors. We don't want to see bright colors. That's because the severe portion of that storm system is moving on out. But still severe level winds all along this line. Watching these little kinks that are coming through. Some of the stronger ones are around just northwest of Warrensburg. We've got a tornado warning there. And we continue now with, it looks like 3. We've got 3. Is it down to 2? We are down to 2 tornado warnings now. Okay, so the update is southern Johnson County, you're out of a tornado warning. You continue with a severe thunderstorm warning with a possible tornado. So that's a lower level threat, but still this is being monitored because that little notch that we had that was northwest of Clinton, see that tornado possible tag right there? So this is northern sections of Henry County, southern sections of Johnson County, severe thunderstorm warning, no longer a tornado warning till 12:45, but it's being monitored for that spin area. And then we've got the tornado warning that continues in northern Johnson County and about to cross over into Lafayette County. We'll see what they do with that because that's getting pretty close to the county line. And it looks like we just got an extension up here in Ray County. Let's see what we have with this one. So this would be around Richmond. I don't see a strong spin on radar, but let's see what the latest is with this. So this goes till 12:15. So that's another 15 minutes on this tornado warning moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So this is in Ray County, somewhere near Richmond or Hardin. It's really difficult to spot. I'd actually think that would be the best shot just southwest of Hardin to see anything want to drop out of that. But these would be, the reason why we're on these is we want to let you know before there's a tornado. And these things will drop fast tonight. They probably won't stay down on the ground very long and they'll come right back up. But we want to keep you out ahead of them. So with this one, Melissa,
Yep.
Do you have anything over there coming in on this new tornado warning, what they're seeing?
I do not, but I do have, I can go through too what we're seeing in Johnson County at this point too. So Johnson County still continues until 12:15. So that includes the leading edge of the storm. I'll pull up our velocity at this point too and pause it so we can see. Looks like it's just along that county line at this point. Looks like mainly in a rural area, but southeast of the Odessa area, continuing to move towards the northeast. So if you are in the Concordia area, Sweet Springs, Higginsville, Alma, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe places. We are still within this tornado warning at this time. That continues until 12:15. As I had mentioned, seeing a little bit of that notch to the southwest of Odessa and continues to move towards the northeast to the Concordia area, Sweet Springs. So do be getting in your tornado safe place as we're watching this kind of area of rotation that is just towards the southeast of Odessa. But I haven't had any new reports with this storm, but there has been some reports of 50 to 55 mile per hour winds in Cameron.
Okay, Melissa, I'll take it over. We just got a new tornado warning. We were just talking about Lafayette County and how I was thinking that this was about to cross over the county line and we could get a new warning. So out of northern Johnson County and into southern Lafayette County, that's what happened as we have a new tornado warning here. So we're back to 3. Really, this is kind of one tornado warning. This is an extension of the old one in central northern Johnson County. And that's going to extend into southeastern sections of Lafayette County. So what we see here is this bright spot that's just south of Lafayette County and the Johnson County, Missouri line. Now, I don't have any communities here that really pop up that are in it, but it is just west of Fayetteville. So Fayetteville probably going to pass to your north, but that spot right there is where we could see a tornado drop. and let's see how long this one probably goes till 12:30, I'm going to guess. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, till 12:30. So it's just about to exit Johnson County, Missouri, and move to the northeast into southeastern Lafayette County. Tornado warning here. Latest in is moving at 50. We'd be looking at Earnestville. I think it would be one of the next towns that could be under threat of this. So let's see if we can find that again. There you go. Earnestville right there, right on the county line. So this is going to be tracking toward I-70 near Concordia. Let's put this track on for you. It's booking. This one's going forward, or 50. I'm going to have to zoom back out to get you a more accurate track. So hold with me for just a moment. And possibly up towards Sweet Springs if it were to continue to cross. All right, so there's 35, 39, there's 50 miles an hour. So Earnestville, you've got about 20 minutes before it's there if it's got a tornado. And the thing with tonight is it's an especially important night with all the wind that is around these areas of rotation that could knock power out. You want to have your phone ready to go, have you some flashlights, and then you can, with your phone, be able to track the storms once they're in your area or they've gone through, and you can be sure that they're gone. First Warn 5 weather app's got the radar. It's got all the warnings. It has everything you need. Just something that would be handy to have tonight. 12:38 Concordia at 12:38, and then 12:47. This is past, both of these are past the warning time. That would be Emma. But as we've been seeing tonight, these things they kind of spin up and then they wind back down and then they spin back up again. We keep getting these warnings. At one point we had 4 of them. So now we're down to 3. We have 3 warnings, but a whole bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me show you the traditional Doppler, and you can see this line. So it's all along this line, and little kinks in here have been dropping rotation, and that rotation could be producing tornadoes. Have we had any reports of tornadoes come in?
No new reports, but actually newest is some outflow surge south of the Chillicothe. May see rotation tighten up on the leading edge there in the next few minutes. So still monitoring some areas of those kinks as we had mentioned. And I do want to say too, as we've been talking about that large area of severe thunderstorm warnings that goes down from Harrison down to portions of Henry County as well. So as this bulk of the line moves through with the heaviest, strongest part of the storm, still seeing those severe thunderstorm watches from north to south along that as well, with those tornado warnings embedded within there, as we're seeing some quick little spin up potential possible as well. But we do not have any of the latest reports from the National Weather Service at this time. That's it.
Okay, good. Kansas City, again, if you're just tuning in, I know it's a late night event and we have the tornado watch that's in effect until 4. Kansas City is out of the threat. We no longer have a severe thunderstorm threat tonight. It's just going to be raining some thunderstorms for us. If you're out ahead and you're in this big batch, this is all severe. Every bit in this line is under a warning. I'm not saying everybody will experience severe weather within this line, but embedded within this, we're having 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, this is actually kind of good news because 60-mile-per-hour winds is, that's severe level winds, but the potential today was 70 to 80, and we had that earlier in some areas, but down here to the south is where we've been seeing some of those 70-mile-per-hour winds. This storm down here has been producing near hurricane force level winds, and that's going to go toward Roscoe and Fristow. That's actually outside of our coverage area. You may be able to see us there, but that is not officially part of the coverage area. But if you're in Roscoe or you're in Fristow, some of these locations, we actually have a tornado warning that's further south, then that's where we're getting some really cranking straight line winds. So we're at 3 tornado warnings here. Let's start from the south and then work our way north, because the south is actually the newest one. Let's see what latest scan that we have here. It's going to be just south of Higginsville. So this is crossing over into Lafayette County and moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. And where that spot would be, this popped up on us quickly, which is what they've been doing tonight. It's right on the Lafayette, Johnson County, Missouri line, tracking toward Concordia. So just south of I-70. Let's see where else we have in here. So Earnestville, it might track just north of Earnestville. We'll see. It's right along 13 Highway. Let me pull this up so you can see it. So Mount Olive, it's to your north. Here's Earnestville here. This is 13 Highway. This is Johnson County. This is Lafayette County. It's just about to cross over. There might be a tornado there. We're not sure. If it were to be wrapped in rain, it'd be likely brief and then kind of lift back up and then drop back down. That's what these tend to do, and moving northeast pretty quickly. So let's get a track on that one for you, and then we'll work our way north. So there's actually been 2 tornado warnings there, but it's one area of rotation. Okay. And we just had Greg Bennett join us here as well, so we're staffed up. Pull this out just a little bit, and we'll come to you in a moment, Greg.
Yeah, I can officially say good morning to you, Luke Doris.
It is now good morning. And good early morning to you.
True story.
You always have early morning. So Earnestville, 12:22. Concordia, that'd be 12:32. And then Emma at 12:40. So this warning goes until 12:30. This is for southeastern sections of Lafayette County and just exiting northeastern sections of Johnson County, Missouri with that warning. Greg, let's go to you. What are you seeing over there?
Well, you know, right now I'm trying to get a 3D model in of what we're looking at for the thunderstorm cloud tops here. And so far, we've been seeing a lot of the severe weather kind of sort of plume up around 25 to 30,000 feet. You know, plenty enough to actually get us into a severe thunderstorm kind of warning, or obviously that opportunity for rotation. But the more fascinating part of where we are with the kind of cutout of these thunderstorms is how intense this storm activity climbs all the way up into the atmosphere. We don't have a whole lot of green or weakening of the storm itself as we climb up. It's all in these oranges and reds. Great indication that we've got really fortified strength to these storms across the board, allowing us to see a lot more rainfall out of this. Obviously, the frequent lightning. And then, of course, our serious dangerous spot in all of this is going to be that damaging wind and obviously that tornado development, or at least the opportunity for it, Luke. Yeah.
Greg, that's good stuff there. Hey, we now are up to 4 tornado warnings. Really, it's 3 because one's an extension. We got another one in Johnson County. Johnson County's had tornado warnings just pop up left and right, and here's a new one that we have. So I think the one that's up by Hardin will probably be allowed to expire in Ray County. I don't see much circulation there. What I do see is a lot of straight line winds, stout ones at that, 60+ miles per hour. That whole area there, strong straight line winds that could knock power out. And then this new spot that is rotating. We see an area south of Warrensburg now. This is for southeastern Johnson County, Missouri. It's just past Chilhowie and west of Leeton. So this would be right along 2 Highway. Here's 2 Highway that runs east and west, and this is 13 Highway, and it's tracking kind of just where they meet or just to the north. So Cornelia would be a spot that would be under risk of that. This one's moving northeast at 40. This is radar indicated rotation. We don't know that there is a tornado there, but it'd be really hard to confirm one tonight with the nature of these things dropping so quickly and with them being wrapped up in rain. Knob Noster, you're right at the very edge of that warning too. So let's track this new tornado warning out and see when you can expect it in your neighborhood. So it's going 40 right there. So Cornelia, got about 10 minutes in Cornelia. So you want to get in your safe spot now. It's, you know, one of these nights where you just got to wait for these things to go through to really be in the all clear. So you probably just want to hunker down there for a little bit. And then Bristol Ridge, that'd be 12:37. The warning goes till 12:45. Knob Noster, you're just outside of that official warning. That would be at 12:52. So that's going to be moving through the southeastern and eastern sections of Johnson County, Missouri. We have 2 warnings in there now, though really the other one's more for Lafayette County, just to the north. So if your phone's going off and you're just waking up and joining us, a lot of straight line winds back here on the back side of this one. Let's see what it's pumping out just southwest of Chilhowie. We could have, so that's our tornado, so it's have to get the warning off here. I want to see what these winds are doing because those are really stout. If they get high enough, they could cause tornado-like damage. So we're seeing 65-ish mile-per-hour winds. So count on a gust to about that, even though that's a little bit up above ground level. You could easily have a 65-mile-per-hour wind gust. So that's going to be moving toward Chilhowie and Leeton. This is the southern, south-central part of Johnson County, Missouri, tracking in the direction generally of Knob Noster. If you're between Chilhowie and Knob Noster, tornado warning there, and you want to be in your safe spot until this thing's through and we're in the all clear. If you're in western Johnson County, you're west of this line right here, then you're okay. You're okay. It's all for the eastern section, specifically the northeastern section of Johnson County in Missouri and the southeastern and eastern portions of Johnson County. Also Lafayette County, southeastern portions of Lafayette County, that spot right there looks like it may have wound down a little bit, but there's still something that we're seeing here southwest of Concordia. So Concordia tornado warning. This one goes till 12:30 and crossing over the county line right now, Earnestville, maybe Allville, and into Concordia right along I-70. Here comes our latest scan. There it goes, just north of Earnestville. Earnestville, it's going to miss you to the north. Allville, probably just to your south. It's going this way. So Concordia and right along I-70. There could be a tornado getting ready to cross I-70 just west of 23 Highway. That's the spot there with that, that continuing tornado warning. So could be something brief and quick there. As we go up into Ray County, here's another tornado warning. This one is set to expire here before too long. This one goes until 12:15. We're at 12:14. I imagine this one's going to get dropped in Ray County. I'm not seeing circulation there. They're going to drop it. They're going to expire that one, Melissa says, as she's checking the chat there. So that's good news. So it's all down in Johnson and Lafayette County with this line of severe storms that's moving through. With that, Melissa, let's go over to you and see what else you're seeing on your chat.
There are a couple more that they're going to expire, I assume, in portions of Johnson County. So they're expiring one tornado warning in Johnson County, as well as they're canceling the tornado warning for Johnson. So I want to see
Northern Johnson. There's two in Johnson. So
yes.
that'd be the Northern Johnson. That's the one that's in Lafayette. So
yes.
it's moved out of Johnson and it's in southeastern Lafayette.
Yes.
Yes.
And
okay.
they are continuing the tornado warning for Lafayette. That continues until 12:30, moving still northeast at 50 miles an hour. So still that one in southeastern Lafayette County at this point. And let me keep reading. We also have some more information on our tornado watches, which I'm going to pull up. This is all coming in at once. So we are seeing some canceled counties in portions of Kansas. So this still, the tornado watch until 4 a.m. still includes the Kansas City metro. This is now taken out. No tornado watcher in the all clear for Atchison, Doniphan, Kansas, as well as Holt, Missouri. So our portions of our far western Kansas counties, you have been taken out in portions of Holt County, Missouri as well. So still continuing to see the tornado watch until the 4 a.m. hour for the Kansas City metro and for our east. So that is the latest that I have too with tornado warnings and the tornado watch at this point. That's the latest in the chat right now. Luke, I will send it back over to you.
Yeah, I expect that it'll be dropped for the metro here pretty soon too, because we're on the backside of this. So they allow a little buffer. It's always good to allow a little buffer with tornado watches. But essentially the storm threat for us is just thunderstorms for now. Big line of severe weather. This whole thing is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Within it, we could have 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe 65 in a spot or two. And we've got several tornado warnings. One's in Johnson and one is in Lafayette County. Greg, do we have anything over there that you're seeing on your end? I bet you're checking in on some road reports.
I am. I actually am getting into some road reports right now. Basically, the intersection of I-70 and 635. Several cars were in an incident, an accident, more likely due to the wet weather situation, the heavy rainfall, and there was a lot of ponding in that particular location about 15, 20 minutes ago. So it is a bit slower going on some of our roadways. There are early morning commuters right now, maybe finally getting done with work and trying to get home in this inclement weather situation. We're also monitoring the interior of the downtown area and notice that there are a lot more slower going, maybe even stop and go situations on some of these highways. Obviously, again, I-70 where it meets up with 670 here. This is where we could be seeing a lot more of that kind of ponding or pooling or getting into incidents of hydroplaning. If you're going too fast with those vehicles on standing water on these roadways, you can actually lose control and then maybe wind up on the side of the road or maybe into one of the barriers. So it's something that we've got to watch out to. And this, mind you, this is the backside of all the storm activity. This is just moderate to heavier showers. Obviously, we've got some lightning and all of this where we have most of our inclement weather is going to be on the front side. Obviously, Luke, you've been tracking those tornadoes.
Yeah, and we have a latest scan that just came in. You were talking about roads, and we've got a potential tornado about to cross I-70. This would be in Lafayette County in Missouri. So Kansas, you're done. Kansas, it's not a severe threat for you any longer. But in Missouri, we continue with this. East of the metro, Lafayette County over here. This is south of Higginsville. I'm looking at Concordia. It's east of Odessa. Odessa, you're fine. You've got thunderstorms, but this little spot right here, that would be, if we have a tornado, be right there. So just south of I-70, it'd be southwest of Concordia. Here's 23 Highway, west of 23 Highway, just south of Concordia. See if there's any communities in here. It doesn't look like it. So if, traveling along I-70, not a good idea right now. I know that you wouldn't want to be going through these storms anyway, but with this tornado potential, and also with that, if nothing else, our radar is picking up on 65-mile-per-hour winds there. So some severe level winds in that pocket and traveling in the direction of Concordia. So Concordia, let's see how much time you have before this could be on your door. We're going to have to redo this one. I'm going to pull the view back out a little bit because these things are moving so fast that I've got to allow a little extra space. All right, so there we go. 40, right about there. All right, so that'd be about 12:31. You don't have a whole lot of time. Got a little bit over 10 minutes before it might be in Concordia and crossing I-70 about that time too, if not a little bit sooner. Then 12:40 for Emma, and then past the warning time would be 12:52. That would be in Blackburn. So potential tornado here, moving northeast, Lafayette County. That's one, and then we've got the other one that's further south. Let's check in on it. That is down here in Johnson County. And not seeing as tight of rotation. Let's go back and kind of compare what we had. See right around Chilhowie, how it had a really bright spot right there. That was a pretty strong indication of a potential tornado. And as we go to the latest scan, there's certainly straight line winds there coming into Leeton. And Chilhowie, you're getting them too. Let's see what those may be. Here comes a new scan possibly. Waiting on that to come in. Let's see what these winds are. But I'm not seeing as tight of rotation. If we did, it would be around Leeton. So we're seeing some 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts within that. Here comes our scan. It's still there. It's still certainly there. All right, so it dropped for a minute and then it picked right back up. So now it's northeast of Leeton. So a radar scan takes about 5 minutes to get the update. So if we had anything, Burtville, heads up. This is in Johnson County, eastern Johnson County, Missouri. Here's Knob Noster. Knob Noster, this looks to be tracking in your general area. So south of Bristol Ridge. This right here is 23 Highway. It's west of 23 Highway, just southwest of Burtville. Potential tornado here, and this one's moving northeast at 40. So let's get the warning back on so you've got an idea of that. Knob Noster's at the very edge of that, and then this one's going to be crossing over. So here we go. Let's go 40 and get you whenever it could be in your community. So Burtville, you got about 5 minutes in Burtville, and then after that it's going to be in Whiteman Air Force Base. That's 12:41, and then 12:58 would be in Lamont, and then Houstonia, if it's still there, we don't know that it'll still be there, that would be just after 1 o'clock in the morning. So there's Whiteman Air Force Base. You can barely see it because we've got this covering it. So there's Whiteman Air Force Base around Knob Noster. That's what it's known for, is the Air Force Base. Moving there within about, what are we at, 12:21, we got about 20 minutes there before it'll be in that location if there is a tornado. So that's eastern Johnson County in Missouri, tornado warning that we'll see if it gets extended. It might go eastward, and that would put it into Pettis County. So there's Pettis County, and tornado warning continues there. So 2 tornado warnings right now along this line of severe storms. Melissa, let's go over to you. Looks like we have an update on our watches that we expected.
Yes, so now we have been taken out for the Kansas City Metro out of the tornado watch. So our Kansas counties are in the clear. Our immediate Kansas City Metro is in the clear as well. But down from portions of Harrison to Henry County and eastward, that tornado watch still continues until 4 a.m. So our Kansas counties are in the clear. Our immediate Kansas City Metro area is in the clear, as well as our northwestern counties. Holt, Nottoway from the St. Joseph area as well in the clear, still from Henry down to Harrison counties and eastward. That tornado watch continues until 4 a.m. So I do want to show too a wider look at our radar before I get back to Luke, because I do want to show that this immediate line now has kind of conformed. We've got this one strong line from our Creston into portions of southern Iowa down to our southern counties. That immediate line packing a lot of lightning, seeing some light rainfall and still a little bit of lightning on the back side of this. So while our Kansas City metro area is in the clear, likely going to continue to see some rain and thunderstorm activity, non-severe, sub-severe, as we head through the remainder of the next kind of 30 minutes or so. But out towards our western counties and portions of Kansas in the all clear, just maybe an isolated thunderstorm moving through the area. So generally, this large line continues to push towards the east into our eastern counties. And as it continues to push to the east, that severe weather threat on the back end of that is dwindling and diminishing and has already diminished for the Kansas City metro and our Kansas counties at this point.
Good news, Melissa.
Yep.
Thank you. We love that. What this will do, though, is through the rest of tonight, that's why this tornado watch for those that are still under it goes until 4 o'clock in the morning. We're just going to be with this, watching these spin-ups until this is out of our area. It's just the way that these are behaving. So let's go back to Lafayette County. We have an active tornado warning here for another 7 minutes. This will be crossing over into Pettis County here before too long if it does continue to spin. So let's get to the Doppler winds. I think it'd actually be just north of Concordia right now. So it's right just north of Concordia. Let's pause this. So it's over I-70 or just crossed over I-70 with a potential tornado. So it's south of Alma, east of Allville. This is 23 Highway. It's right west of 23 Highway where it meets with I-70. So there's Concordia. Concordia, it's to your north, and it's tracking northeast. So I'm not saying that you're all clear, but your threat level is coming down. And then next it's going to be headed toward Blackburn and Mount Legend as it crosses over into Pettis County here rather soon. So that warning goes till 12:30 here. I'll kick the warning on for you. And it ends at right now we do not have a tornado warning in Saline County, rather. So that's Saline County. But as it crosses over, then we may see this get extended. So a lot of straight line wind damage is possible. All that right there, all those bright colors, 60, 65 mile per hour winds are possible there. Here's your track, and let's see where that could be. It's going 40, a little bit over 40, right about there. So that'd be Blackburn at about 1247, Mount Leonard 1257, and then Malta Bend at just after 1 o'clock in the morning. So there it is. We've got there's the new tornado warning. Figured it would get extended. Indeed it has. There it highlights for you. It's kind of hard to see with the reds. So that goes until 1 o'clock in the morning. So this is Saline County. Eastern Lafayette and Saline County till 1 o'clock in the morning. This is getting extended. This one's been a little bit more persistent. A lot of these have kind of been showing up and then dropping back down. This one's been a little bit more persistent with it. And back behind it, you see all of that. That could be 60, 65 mile per hour winds. So that's that tornado warning. We'll come down. We'll look at the latest scan with the one that's in Johnson County. And then Greg will come to you here momentarily. Might come to you now. My computer just froze up on me. We're going to go to Greg. I'll come back. I'll look at the Johnson County storm here in just a moment.
No, that's fair there, Luke. Hopefully we can get that in, unplug it, plug it back in for you, friend. We've got a couple of things on tap that we just added here. Obviously, with the tornado warnings that we have, we've just added several more severe thunderstorm warnings that will continue to exit out from the viewing area. But we still have it around Marshall, moving up through Mercer and Grundy counties out there. Obviously, Livingston County is a part of this. These severe thunderstorm warnings within our extreme eastern counties up till about 1:15, 1:30 in the morning. So obviously we're still continuing to track that line, even more so than obviously that rotation that we've got that is now officially starting to cross over I-70. Out on the backside of these storms, we have still gotten copious amounts of rainfall. Flash flooding is now looking to be a major concern to some of our northern counties. Nodway County, for example, Atchison County on the Missouri side is having some issues here. And in those particular locations, we've been seeing anywhere between a ½ inch to 2 inches of rainfall, and they're continuing to see rain. So this is going to be an issue or a concern even for people who are outside of these severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings is going to be that amount of rainfall that's been kind of flooding through from this massive storm system. With that being said, though, where we have these tornado warnings in place, right? So we're talking about off around Lafayette County. We're talking about moving over closer to around Marshall as it passes over I-70. Very, very important here. Listen very closely. If you do have a basement, now is the time to go to that basement. That is going to be your safest location in your home. If you do not have a basement, it is a very good idea to find the most interior location of your home. The more walls between you and the outside, the better. Something that's more structurally sound. That could be an interior hallway, an interior bathroom, an interior closet. Get the family there, get your go bag there, and that's where you want to sit tight as we continue to monitor these kind of rotation happening to the atmosphere. Just like Luke has been mentioning, we have definitely been seeing it on radar. We're going to continue to see if we can get some more, boots on the ground on this. But looks like Luke's got his stuff back up. Let's get back out there. We've got some new information, right, Luke?
Yeah, well, looks like we had a problem with the radar, actually. The National Weather Service radar may have just taken a hit, maybe got struck by lightning or something, so data's kind of patchy coming in. We do still have the warning here, so we were talking about Johnson County in Missouri. Don't look at this as necessarily current, still waiting for some things to try to pull up on us, but Knob Noster, Whiteman Air Force Base, we've got the potential for a tornado there. I'm going to take you to a different look on the radar. This is not nearly as good for tracking tornadoes, but it's something that I can watch, and it's this little spot right here that's southwest of Knob Noster. So we'll see if this gets extended and crosses over into Pettis County. So it's in Johnson County in Missouri now, may cross over into Pettis County. Have to wait till this data comes back on. But around Knob Noster, tornado warning, and it's just to the southwest as of the last scan that we had. So it's going to be moving in that direction. East of Warrensburg, so this is just extreme eastern, east central sections of Johnson County in Missouri. Next in line might be sections of Pettis County. So up to the north, we've got the other tornado warning that is now in extreme eastern Lafayette Fayette County and extends into portions of Saline County. This is western Saline County, so near the Blackburn area, just southwest of Blackburn is where that one would be, right around Alma, north of Concordia. So last we had it, it was just north of Concordia, and it might be here now in this little section that we see that's kind of carved out. So pull the line out, and you can see where we have our warnings. That's these boxes. Within these, we could have 60-mile-per-hour winds. Earlier, they were stronger, but the 70 and 80-mile-per-hour winds have actually been held to our south by and large. Some small hail, you might get, up to nickel-size hail, penny-size hail. We have not seen large hail. That was not anticipated today to get a bunch of big hail. We haven't seen that. It's a straight-line wind event with embedded tornadoes possible through some of those. Okay, so let's see if any of our data has come back online, and it looks like it's still playing catch-up. So while we're waiting for this to catch up, there's not a whole lot that I can track here. Melissa, are you getting some things coming through as National Weather Service may be giving some updates there?
We have no new updates, but I do want to look down to our south because there are a slew of tornado warnings to our south right now, not in our area, but in portions of Vernon, St. Clair, Cedar County. And we're going to be watching one of the tornado warnings as we're still not having all of our better data at this point from the radar. So we can't really do much in terms of tracking the rotation of the storm. So we are playing out our satellite and radar. But for the tornado warning that is in St. Clair, could start to pull up into portions of our far southern counties and eventually into our area. So this is something that we're going to have to be watching as it's moving in towards the northeast into portions of Henry, possibly into Benton County if it continues to move down the line at the northeast. And we'll continue to monitor this. This continues until, I wanted to say, we're looking at the wrong one here. Here we go. Until 12:45. So we'll be able to know within the next 15 minutes or so if this is going to be extended and pushed out into portions of our Henry counties and in portions of our towards the Warsaw Coal Camp area as well. So we're going to continue to watch the storms that are to our south at this time. Not in our area, but we're going to continue to monitor those for potential spin-ups that could move into our far southern counties.
Thanks, Melissa. Let's go over to Greg. Greg, we're seeing something. I believe this is from our First Warn 5 weather tracker.
Indeed.
What do we have here?
It looks like we've got ourselves a tractor trailer that has flipped over into the highway over here. I'm not exactly sure 100%. We're actually around Oak Grove when it comes down to it. I think this is the interstate. This is I-70 and Blue Springs. So we have a actual, looks like, yeah, an 18-wheeler has flipped over on the road. This could have been from high wind. This could have been from the 50, 60, 70 mile-an-hour winds, potentially near where we're seeing that rotation. It could have been just due to the copious amounts of rainfall, but we do have flashing lights. Obviously, first responders are on cue here. You can see the flashing lightning. There's still a lot of significant thunderstorm activity, and there's a massive backup to this. I know you really can't see it. It's kind of sort of behind me. We've got the flashing lights over here, and as you back up on I-70, that's where we're seeing a major backup. We do actually have some backing up on I-70 right now. I'm going to actually head over to the command center here. We're monitoring some of the severe weather activity that's moving through Concordia, right, and then off around the Emma area, around I-70, and you can see all of a sudden we're starting to see a lot more slower going situations here on those interstates. That goes all the way in closer and closer to the metro itself that we're monitoring. So you can see that we've even got more on the backside of this. We're getting some slower going situations, and it's just like what we've been seeing on those roadways. We just showed you that tractor trailer, that this can be some dangerous scenarios that we get into in the severe weather activity. Obviously, with the severe thunderstorm warnings in place, it is best to try to stay off the roads right now and let this stuff kind of blow on through. Luke?
Good information there, Greg. Thank you so much. And we just got a new tornado warning. This is for Benton County. So it's coming in, Melissa was just talking about this, coming in out of St. Clair County, extended now. We have a tornado warning in Benton County. So looking at Warsaw, just southwest of Coal Camp. This is the area in this red box. There's another one. So we just got this one that extended over into Pettis County. We were tracking that storm earlier out of Johnson County. So two new tornado warnings. This is for the eastern part of our coverage area. Storms are marching eastward, severe line, all with potential 60-mile-per-hour winds, and these little circulations embedded within that. So now we have three new tornado warnings to tell you about. So this first one that's in Benton County and over by Warsaw is moving out of St. Clair County. This one goes until 1 o'clock in the morning. And this one, radar indicated, moving northeast at 65 miles an hour. This one is really booking. So Warsaw, it's going to be there rather quickly. We try to track this one using, so there we go, it'd be right about here, moving 65. That's as fast as we've seen them today. So you don't have a ton of time. Warsaw 107. That was 12:34 right now. So you got a little time before it gets there in Warsaw, but if you're at the leading edge of this, it's going to make a lot of ground in a short amount of time. And then Edmondson, that'd be 129, and then Cole Camp, that's just past the warning. That'd be before 2 o'clock in the morning. So the warning only goes until 1, but we're watching a rotating storm come out of St. Clair County and into Benton County. New tornado warning there. Let's work our way north. So near Sedalia, the one that we've been watching out of Johnson County is now moving east rather quickly. Let's see how fast this one's going. So this one goes till 1, so this is going to extend into Pettis County until 1 o'clock, so about another 25 minutes there. This one looks like it's just north of, would track just north of Sedalia. This is the one around Knob Noster that we were monitoring. It's that little notch right there. So essentially at the moment, it's just around Knob Noster. If there is a tornado, little notch there is all that we can see, but it could produce a tornado and then move to the northeast. So that would be tracking generally toward Hughesville. Let's put a track on this one. It's moving northeast at 45. This one's not going quite as fast, and the spot would be right about there. So here we go at 45. So now this one's crossing over into Pettis County. So that'd be Lamont at 12:54. Then we're past the warning time. That'd be Houstonia and then Newland at 1:27, kind of an early heads up there. Another one that's up to the north. We got a bunch of them out there. These things have just been popping left and right. So Johnson County, you're about to be out of it, which would be great because you've had so many tornado warnings today. And now here we go up into Saline County, crossing out of Lafayette County. This one has been extended. Let's see how long this one goes. This one goes till 1 o'clock in the morning as well. Potential tornado, it's radar indicated. Could also have a lot of straight line wind damage with any of these. All these are embedded within a severe thunderstorm, a big complex of powerful winds, 60, 65 miles per hour. This one's going 40, and this is going to be for the northwestern section of Saline County. It's exiting Lafayette County, and it'll be right about here, and this one's going about 40. All right, so here's your track. So that'd be Blackburn at about 12:38. So that's essentially now. It's in the Blackburn area. Then Mount Leonard, that'd be 12:49. So you've got roughly 20 minutes there. 10 minutes there rather, and then Malta Bend at 12:59. After that, you're out of the warning, but you may still have this move your way. That'd be in Miami. That'd be about 1:27. So we're going to monitor that. Let's pull our view out, kind of get our bearings again. If you're watching us in Kansas City, then you're in the clear for the severe threat for tonight. It's not going to be severe any longer. We've got thunderstorms, and we're about to see the rain come to an end. We're on the back end of rain through much of the metro, so this is really going to quiet down for us here within the city rather quickly. If you're in Richmond, Lake Lafayette, some of these spots that are just behind this line, then you're okay. All right, so that's just rain. It's this just leading edge where it's really powerful, and then embedded within that strong line of storms is the powerful winds and the potential to see some spin up, some quick rotation. We haven't been going north a whole lot. We do have a strong line of storms up here by Chillicothe. Let's take a quick look at this. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. Pretty much every single one of them today has had a tornado possible, and this one does as well. This one goes till 1:15, so this is an area that's being monitored. Not currently strong enough rotation to warrant a tornado warning, but this is for a number of counties. We've got Grundy, we've got Lynn, we've got Livingston, we've got Sullivan, 115, all along that line. So in Trenton, you're getting hit hard with a thunderstorm right now, also around Chillicothe, and embedded within that. We're going to see if we can find any rotation. We're just not seeing it strong enough right now to warrant that tornado warning. If it does happen, though, we will bring it right to you. Melissa, let's go over to you, see what do you have. Looks like maybe radar data might be coming back for you.
Yes, I do have the radar data coming back. The National Weather Service latest is planning on expiring the tornado warning for Johnson. So we had just discussed that. It will then be mainly for what we are to the east towards the Pettis area. So the Knob Noster, south of Knob Noster, east into portions of our Johnson County, likely going to be expired by the time we head into 12:45. So I have had some data come back too. I can look. The National Weather Service monitoring some rotation towards the Sweet Springs area, and it's hard to see with the tornado warning outline because it is the same color, but Sweet Springs monitoring some rotation as well. It's getting cut off by the bottom of the banner, so I'm going to pull it up a little bit. It looks like Sweet Springs is outside of the tornado warned area at this point. And now I'm looking at the latest scan into portions of the tornado warning just towards the north, seeing more of that notch towards the southwest of Marshall too. So Marshall, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place. Sweet Springs, we're going to continue to monitor this area too for possible rotation, as the National Weather Service has pointed that out as well. But that's the latest information that I have in terms of those tornado warnings. They also just canceled the tornado warning for Lafayette County.
Yeah,
as well.
it's moved out. That's moved into the next county over. So let's go over to Greg. Greg, what are you seeing over there?
Yeah, I wanted to get some more updates on that turned over tractor trailer on I-70. I found it here on I-70. It's going to be westbound that we've got that tractor trailer, and it's kind of sort of shutting down the highway to a serious stop and go. It looks like they are opening up the actual exit to get off around that actual accident itself, but nonetheless, it is still backed up a couple of miles here on I-70. This is where we did see some significant severe thunderstorm activity move through this area about an hour to 45 minutes ago, give or take. But we've got obviously the highway patrol out there on the Missouri side. They are out there with their flashing lights, the vehicles. They've got the people there on the roadways to kind of sort of conduct the traffic. But there it is. There's that tractor trailer right there, that 18-wheeler. I did get information. It looks like we're going to be seeing this kind of clear within 30 minutes. Hopefully we can get that cleaned up and get that interstate ready to go for you. The good news is that the driver is okay of that tractor trailer. Super duper important here. Everyone seems to be okay and kind of walking away from this accident. But this is a serious situation when we're talking about thunderstorms that are producing, at least radar indicated 60-mile-an-hour winds, and then obviously the opportunity for us to produce some rotation. It's something that's serious, and that's why we're here early in the morning, Luke, right? I mean, this is why we're here. We're here to protect you and make sure that you guys are staying safe.
We'll be here till the threat's over. And speaking, you just talked about the winds. I want to highlight a big area here. I mean, I'm going all the way up from Marshall down to Concordia, down to Windsor, west of Sedalia. This whole line here producing 60, 65-mile-per-hour winds. So straight line wind damage. That's a big area where these tornadoes would be very small, isolated areas. So that could end up being as big or bigger of a threat as the straight line winds. I'm thinking about tree damage. Earlier, these were up to, and by tree damage, I mean going onto houses is always the concern. Earlier there, just moments ago, before we got our latest scan, I was getting some 70s in there. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's making it to ground level, but it's what's possible. So now we have full radar capacity back. We can give you all the updates with where the location of potential tornadoes would be. Here's the one that we have that's farthest to the north. We've got 3 of them out there now. So this one is for portions of Lafayette, Pettis. It's really out of Lafayette now. Did that just update? Looks like it just may have updated.
Yeah.
Is this a new one? Looks like there is a new one up here that just popped up. So let me redo that one again. Okay, there it is. It's just difficult to see with the Doppler winds, which is how we track the storms. So here we are in Saline County. Looked like maybe there was something that went wrong. The radar's being a little funky. I think it may have gotten hit by lightning. Anyway, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we've got another 18 minutes on this warning. This is for Saline County. If we have a tornado, it would be right here. Notice the strong straight line winds back behind it. Waverly down to Sweet Springs and Point South. It's all 60, 65-mile-per-hour winds. 2 areas here. We might actually get an extension. We'll see if the National Weather Service pops a warning on that one that's outside of the current tornado warning. Let's zoom in on this. So this would be just south of Mount Leonard. I'm watching this spot northeast of Sweet Springs, just north of I-70. So I see 2 areas. Only one of them's in the warning, which is south of Mount Leonard. But this area right here bears monitoring too. So this is going to be tracking toward the Marshall area. And this one's going northeast at 40. Marshall, I want to get you a time on when you can expect it. This is southwest of 65 Highway. Here's Mount Leonard. If there's a tornado, it'd be just south. What is this right here? This is 20 Highway and east of 127 Highway. So it'd be in that zone, north of Kretcher and headed toward Marshall. So let's see when it would be in Marshall as it goes there at about 40 miles per hour. And we're going to monitor that other one that's in Pettis County as well. All right, see if that one gets a warning on it. It very well may. They're triggering warnings often tonight. So Marshall, that'd be about 105. 105 in Marshall. You got about 20 minutes in Marshall. So be in your tornado safe place. I know it's the middle of the night. You won't see a tornado. It'd be wrapped up in rain, and it's going to get there rather quickly. And then Montauk Hill, that'd be 111. That's just past the warning time for Pettis County as that one moves northeast quickly. So we'll track that one as and monitor it as it makes its move and see if that warning gets extended. Here's another one that's just to the south, and we get just north of Sedalia. So this warning also goes till 1 o'clock. Here we are in Pettis County. So right now there could be a tornado west of Sedalia in western Pettis County. It's east of Knob Noster. So we have a warning that's on my radar still active, though Johnson County, you're in the clear of a tornado threat. So you can ignore that. But there could be a tornado here south of Highway 50, just near the Lamont area. Right there, there could be something that's trying to drop. So south of Lamont, south of 50 Highway, southwest of Hughesville, and that one's going northeast at 45. It's a little bit quicker. And let's track that one, get you the estimated time in your area. So that would be Georgetown about 10 after 1. That's after the warning time. And then Beeman, 121 with that. And then we've got some more that are off to our south. This is down in Benton County. Benton County, you've got one possibly just west of Warsaw. Here's Warsaw, little area of rotation here. Tornado warning that extends to near Coal Camp. This one runs until 1 a.m. for Benton County. Kind of a kinky line there, that line that's got little kinks in it. That's what we're tracking here tonight. And this, here comes our latest scan. And there you go, just around, it'd be just near or just north of Warsaw. And this one is going really fast. This one's going 65 miles an hour. This one's been really booking. So Coal Camp, 127, and then, so that's after the warning time. You're not in the warning, but early heads up in Coal Camp. After that would be Stover. So those are 3 active tornado warnings that we have at the moment, and we'll pull our view back out here in a moment. But in the meantime, let's go over to you, Melissa. What do you have? Any updates?
I do want to go over to what we have seen and who is in the clear. So in terms of our latest tornado watch, this does not include Kansas. This does not include the Kansas City Metro. We are in the all clear in Kansas City Metro and Kansas counties. However, from Henry down to Harrison counties and Eastward, that tornado watch continues until 4 a.m. this morning. If we put our satellite and radar on a wider range, we saw a large line conjoin just in portions of the metro, actually, as it moved over the metro, but now is pushed out past the metro. Kansas City and the metro seeing a little bit of light rain at this time, but the bulk of that line, the strongest part of that line, triggering many tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings as well, continuing to push towards the east-northeast, and we've seen this go anywhere between 45 to 65 miles per hour in speed. So it's moving very quickly, blowing through the area. And so we are in the all clear for the Kansas City metro area as well as Kansas at this time. So the threat still remains in portions of our eastern Missouri counties at this time. And we're going to go over to Greg. Greg, to you.
All right, Melissa, thank you so much. You know, we've been tracking all of the severe thunderstorm activity, the tornado activity, major damage left behind, and we're still kind of sort of picking up the pieces here. We brought this to you about 10 or 15 minutes ago. A tractor trailer kind of sort of tipped over and is now over the road on the westbound side of I-70 near Blue Springs on the Missouri side. I wanted to bring you more information on this. We were talking about how we were going to get this cleared up in about 30 minutes, and about 2 minutes ago the actual tow truck just arrived. You can see the flashing lights of the actual tow truck there. There's our tow truck guy starting to assess the situation, and our large tractor trailer that's on its side right there strung along the actual interstate itself. They're going to be pulling this out momentarily, trying to clear off that highway for us, but in the meantime there has been a significant kind of backup when it comes down to I-70 in this particular location. The good news is around this area, there is an opportunity for us to actually get off the highways, which is a plus. They actually kept the exit open. But in the meantime, I mean, we're still tracking severe storm activity towards our exceptional eastern counties here, moving into Missouri. I wanted to give you, again, more of a cutout of the thunderstorm and where we're seeing that tornado warning around Marshall. Notice where we are with this kind of climbing these storms up to about 20 to 22,000 feet, and not a whole lot of green in here, which be the weakening or the lighter side of the storm. All the reds and oranges indicative of intensifying storm activity has climbed all the way up to the top of where this is building. So it's an impressive thunderstorm. Obviously, it's no wonder that we are getting into some rotation on radar. Luke, how are we doing out there?
In our coverage area, this will be winding down in about an hour, 90 minutes tops. These things are booking on through. Kansas City, again, Melissa just showed you that. It's past us. If you're just tuning in with the severe threat of this is all one big severe thunderstorm warning along this line. It's broken into a couple different sections, but the entire line has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. But you see how quickly this is moving. This is a 1 hour loop and how much ground that covers. So it won't be long before this will be entirely out of our KCTV5 coverage area. But in the meantime, we do have 60-mile-per-hour winds embedded within this. Not everybody will get that, but in pockets you'll have that. And we have these areas that are spinning and rotating with a couple active tornado warnings. So just quickly, let's go up here. The hail has not been a big deal. You might get a little bit of hail, but it's not going to be much, all right? Pea size, maybe quarter size. Quarters usually don't even damage cars. They can, but usually they don't. So Trenton and Chillicothe, that is the line. Chillicothe, you're really on the back side of it. And then that's going to be moving toward Unionville and Browning with that line here pretty quickly, within about a half hour. Go down to Carrollton and Marshall. Marshall, we have the tornado warning that is in, we've got tornado warnings in both Pettis and Saline counties. So in Saline County, just west of Marshall, tracking a storm there. I'm going to get you that fresh track here in just a moment. And then we work our way down near Sedalia and just south of Houstonia. There's another warning that we have in place there that is a tornado warning. So embedded within that parent severe thunderstorm cluster coming through. We do see some rotation. We don't know for sure that there's a tornado there, but you'd want to treat it as such. And then down in Benton County. So with that, we go back to our Doppler winds. This really does help us to try to diagnose where the most likely areas for any tornadoes would be. Right now in Benton County, it'd be just north of Warsaw. This would be just north of Warsaw, if you can see us in Benton County, just west of 65. There's another area there by Lincoln that I'll keep tabs on, but the warning is for this area near Warsaw. So there you can see the warning, kind of two spots here. They're both within the warning. Let's put a fresh track on each of these for you, on the one on Warsaw especially. This one's going northeast at 65. It's a really fast mover. So that'd be Byler's School at about 113, Edmondson about the same time, and then Cole Camp at 132. So in Cole Camp, this warning goes till 1, but in Cole Camp, it may be tracking towards you, and it might get extended. We'll see if the National Weather Service elects to extend that warning. Back up we go. There's our fresh scan. So Cole Camp, you've actually got, I think the better chance might be this northern circulation. There's something kind of popping out there. So I'm going to track that for you anyway, around Cole Camp. 65, and the warning only goes till 1. That's 8 minutes from now. This thing's racing, just racing across Benton County. So there's 65. Cole Camp, you could have something come over you in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes, we could have some rotation there. Maybe a tornado. Lake Creek past that, and Otterville at 152. That's really getting out there, so that's a ways away. Let's go up north. Sedalia, watching you in Sedalia. Let's get our view up here. So this would be just north of Sedalia. Potential tornado. This is probably the strongest signature that I see right now. Here's our tornado warning. So it's between Hughesville and Sedalia. That one goes till 1 o'clock in the morning, another 8 minutes. This one will probably get extended because of the signature that we're seeing here on radar. One more time here. There we go. So this is Pettis County, again, until 1 o'clock. I'm looking just west of 65 Highway, just north of Sedalia, around Georgetown. Georgetown, you want to be in your safe spot, interior room. You want to get away from windows and put as many walls between you and this potential tornado as possible. It's the middle of the night. Maybe your phone went off or you heard some sort of an alarm that woke you up. The reason why is there's a tornado warning and there's a potential tornado there. We see the indication on radar. So 65 Highway right around Georgetown, south of Hughesville, tracking toward Newland would be next in line. This one's going 45. So let's get you that timing. as this one goes through central Pettis County right here, right about there in that little notch. And it won't be long, it'll be out of Pettis County, but in the meantime, it's there. So Georgetown, 1 a.m., and then Beeman, 1:13. Pilot Grove would be after that. That's really getting out there, too. That's at 1:46. One more. Let's go up to the north. See what we have up here in Saline County. Losing rotation here. This warning is set to expire in 6 minutes. I don't see strong rotation here. So I'm going to imagine if they're saying anything about that, Melissa. Okay, we'll see if they expire that one. There could be a little something there that I see just outside of the warning by Marshall, but it's probably straight line winds. What I'm seeing here is more of a straight line wind signature. Marshall, maybe you're out of the warning. National Weather Service isn't currently indicating that's tight enough to issue a tornado warning, but all of that is 60, 65 mile per hour winds. Pretty widespread, potent wind threat there. All right, so several severe thunderstorm warnings along this line, 3 embedded tornado warnings. Melissa, let's go over to you.
Yeah, I'm taking a wider look once again. If we can see from our Firstborn 5 at Doppler, still seeing that line of that potent first line that we're seeing with the potential for straight line winds, some spin ups as we have several tornado warnings at this time, stretching through much of Missouri as well, down to even Springfield, where they have a few confirmed tornadoes and have had a few confirmed tornadoes this evening, or I should say tonight. So we still see this very strong, potent line moving through portions of our eastern counties in eastern Missouri. In terms of Kansas City, the metro area, we're all clear. The rain is wrapping up. The thunderstorms are wrapping up. In portions of our Kansas counties, we are in the all clear as well. So we're now just watching this potent line continuing to move towards the east. On the back half of that, still seeing a little bit of that stratiform rain, and to the northwest into portions of our northwestern Missouri area. Around between about I-35 and the I-29 corridor, still seeing some heavier pockets of rainfall as well embedded within this. But in terms of this long potent line, this is going to continue to keep kicking it, moving pretty quickly between about 40 to 65 miles per hour, where we kind of see it this evening. Going to continue to push towards the east, eventually going to make its way out of our Kansas City viewing area. But until then, we're giving you the latest information on these tornado warnings. And before I send it over to Luke, too, we've talked about the heavy rainfall possible with this storm. I do want to check the latest for our rainfall totals today. And actually, I'm thinking about this now, and we're past midnight. So this will be since midnight. So the last 45 minutes or so. But in terms of our western counties, so this includes portions of Kansas, Lawrence, about 1.3 inches of rain, 1.1 in Olathe. We picked up around 3/4 of an inch here in Kansas City with that rainfall as well. So pockets of very heavy rain, a lot of lightning, heavy thunder were associated with this as it blew through the metro area. But now we're continuing to see it move through portions of Marshall, Sedalia, eventually going to be pushing out of our area within the next hour or so. So Luke, I'll send it back over to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Hey, we were talking about the tornado warning in Pettis County. That one just got extended until 1:30, so we're going to hang with that storm until the threat is gone. Something else I wanted to mention is that right there around Sedalia, that's the point where we're seeing the spin on the radar, and also embedded within that 70, 75 mile per hour winds. Getting up near hurricane force straight line winds are possible with that storm as well. Big bunch of severe weather as far as wind damage and wind potential is on the table through Pettis and Saline counties down into Benton County. It goes all the way up to the north. We'd be looking at Mercer and Grundy counties. This whole line is packing a punch, but the biggest, strongest wind signal I've seen is right here around Sedalia. So they're getting rocked pretty hard by straight line winds in that area most likely. I see it on radar. Sometimes you see it on radar. It doesn't necessarily make it down to the ground, but it's possible that we have 70 some mile per hour winds there. So here's our new warning. So this one is going to run through Pettis County, and this one should go till 1:30. So let's see what the latest track is with this. It's kind of got more of an easterly jog now, more than northeasterly. Let me get the warning up here. So it'll be crossing over into Cooper County here before too awful long, but right now it's kind of in the heart of Pettis County, extending with this. This is the strongest signature that we see right now. This would be the most likely area for a tornado. We've got another 2 minutes up to our north in Saline County. I think that one's going to be allowed to expire. I do see straight line winds. We'll get to that one after we track this. So we've got our new warning. This is going a little faster now. It's picked up a little pace and going east at about 50. Let's give you some better ideas of where it may be. So right around, we were talking about Georgetown moments ago. I'd still say it's in that general area. So there's 65 Highway, there's Georgetown. If we do have a tornado, it would be right in here, right around Georgetown or just to the west of Georgetown. Sedalia, I think it's just to your northwest. Actually, the highest winds are just to your northwest as well, but they're probably going to move into the Sedalia area. So some towns would be like Newland and Beeman before it crosses over into Cooper County to the east. So let's get you a track going 50, pretty much east now, right about here. There we go. And that would be Beeman at about 119, so that's already over. It's crossing, so that's within our warning time. Outside of our warning time is 136. That would be Otterville, and if it continues, then next in line would be Pilot Grove. So that's what we're seeing with our extension on our Pettis County tornado warning. Here comes our latest scan. Looks like it's not quite as wrapped up as it once was, but it would still be north of Sedalia. So let's see Georgetown. We just had Georgetown on. Georgetown, it's to your east now. So Beeman, we just got a fresh scan. This just came in. So it'd be around Beeman up to Newland. And if there's a tornado embedded within this line, it'd be in one of these two spots, Newland or just west of Beeman. I see more of a kink by Newland, so that's a potential area. And then it looks like we just dropped the old warning. So Georgetown, you're in the clear of a tornado warning. Sedalia, you're in the clear of a tornado threat. You're still in the warning, but the rotating part of the storm is to your east. So I'm looking at Beeman, I'm looking at Clifton City, I'm looking at Newland as possible spots for a quick tornado touchdown there as we track that rotating storm. Hey, as we go to the north, we did lose our tornado warning further north in Saline County, so that is an update there. Melissa, let's go over to you.
Yes, I have updates on what has been dropped since the 1 o'clock hour, and now we are just left with one tornado warning, and that is going to be in portions of Pettis County that we have been talking about. However, still seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings down from our north to our south, but this is just on the fringe of our counties as this continues to move towards the east, eventually going to be out of the KCTV5 viewing area. But in terms of our tornado warnings, now just one left. That is going to be for Pettis County. So if we take a closer look at this will continue too until about 1:30, as Luke and the rest of us have been discussing over the last little bit of time. So we still have that little notch possible north of the Sedalia area and north of right by the Beeman area. So Clifton City, New Lebanon, Pleasant Green, beginning in your tornado safe place, as this is our only tornado warning at this point. This continues until 1:30. So Beeman, Clifton, Pleasant Green, and New Lebanon beginning in your tornado safe place at this time. This continues until 1:30. So this is our one lone tornado warning left at this point, and it continues until 1:30 this morning. So of course, we're going to continue to stick with you as we get any new updates and this tornado warning continues.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, so there's the broad view if you're just tuning in with us. Kansas City again, storms are past us. It's for our eastern coverage area. We've got Greg Bennett in the house. He came in early on his shift as we tracked storms together in the First Warn 5 Weather Center as a team, and he's been monitoring some hail. He's been looking at the storm system as a whole. He's also been seeing some tractor trailer damage, a rollover accident that we had that is being cleaned up now. Let's go over to you, Greg. What are you seeing on your end?
Yeah, you know, that's it. That's what we're looking at here, right? I just want to show you how massive the storm system is that we're dealing with. We're just watching a portion of this frontal boundary that's moving through the area, but it stretches all the way back down towards Oklahoma and then right up into southern Canada, wrapping up to basically one broad area of low pressure overall. Technically, it's several different upper level lows that we're monitoring, but we were tracking some hail here, and it never was anything that was rather impressive, right? So let me show you what we're talking about, maybe towards the Henry County area, Clinton, this kind of gray hue that you see in the map, these darker grays. Yeah, that's your hail. Maybe the size of a pea to a marble. That was really about it for us. We didn't really climb these storms into the higher levels of our atmosphere, you know, 30, 35,000 feet, where we could actually really get some momentum to kind of whirl up some of those hailstones, get some more super cooled water droplets on them. But yeah, I'm glad we didn't see the hail out here. The problem is that we did see some tornadoes and we did see some damage out there when it comes down to the roadways. As I've been talking about with you guys, there's a tractor trailer that has been down. We are still monitoring for it right now, and it's on I-70. It's actually, when we were talking about it, it is on the eastbound side, continuing into the Missouri side from the Blue Springs area. there's the tractor trailer. But listen, when it comes down to it, we have got the tow truck on queue here, and now there's 2 tow trucks there to help kind of pull this thing out from where it's at, flip it on its side, and then they're going to be able to tote this thing out the door. So this is going to take a little bit longer than the half hour that they were talking about, probably another half hour to 40 minutes just to get this thing upright and then moving it down the roadway. But it is a slow process. It is something that's going to take a little bit of time here. So if you got that early morning commute, you definitely want to be prepared for it. Listen, friends, we're going to be talking about this going into our morning newscast as well. We'll have much more to talk about when we get it to 4:30. But Luke, back to you, friend.
Yeah, it won't be too long before this is out of our coverage area. But in the meantime, we just got a new tornado warning, and that's what we anticipated that these would do is all the way through. Got to watch these little spin ups, and there's a new one that we have that is up to our north. So we had just the one that we were tracking in Pettis County, and now we've got Saline County with a new tornado warning here that goes until 1:30. This one's moving east at 45, radar indicated rotation here. So let me get this warning on for you. So this is for the extreme, it's east of Marshall. So we'd be looking at Saline County here. It's going to be crossing over toward Fayette before too long. It goes till 1:30. Let's see. This is one that we were monitoring earlier. It did have a tornado warning on it, and then the circulation kind of fell apart. Let's go back and see if we can spot it where it most likely would be and get you an idea. So Marshall's got some really high winds in there. There might be a little spot up here by Cambridge and near Marshall. I'd say it's probably just past Marshall. We could have a little spin up in this notch, and it's moving eastward. So this is up in Saline County, northeastern sections of Saline County. Couple of these little notches here. Any one of those really could drop a tornado rather quickly. Really high winds around Marshall too. Let's kind of see what we're punching out there with the straight line winds. And earlier it's about 65 or so miles per hour with that. And then some neighborhoods, some communities that could be in the path of this. I'd be looking at Slater, I'd be looking at Arrow Rock, and possibly Cambridge, and eventually, it's not there yet, but it'd be moving up there by Cambridge. So we've got 65 highway here. This is 240 highway, so O'Rearville and Hardeman. Some spots that are out ahead of these little notches that we see. This is 41 highway right here. It'd be north of Napton. So let's track that. I'm going to actually just kind of do one little cluster here because it's all along this line where we could see something just try to drop. And it's going east at 40, so right there. So Slater, that'd be about 110. So we are at 106. This warning goes till 1:30. So that'd be Gilliam at 1:15, Cambridge 1:20, Glasgow at 1:27, and then past the warning time would be Fayette as it marches to the east rather quickly. So that's one tornado warning that we have. This is a new one that just popped up, and that's in Saline County. Let's get down to Pettis County, and this notch that we see here, some strong straight line winds just north of Sedalia. Those would be rocking. That'd be right east of 65 Highway, north of 50 Highway, and right there east of Hughesville, just east of 65 Highway. That's where we could see a little spin up, kind of anywhere in that little notchy area. See a little notch there, a little notch there, any one of those. The strongest one would be just east of Hughesville. Let's zoom back in, see if we can find any communities, any neighborhoods in here that might, it looks like it's a rather rural area. Be north of Smithton. And I'm just going to put it all on this area and then track this one east at about 40. Here, I'm going to have to pull my view back out a little bit because these things are just moving so fast. There we go. So this one will be crossing out rather soon from the Hughesville. It's actually east of Hughesville now. It's east of Sedalia and going east at about 40. That's right there. All right, so Smithton 110 and 117 for Otterville. There's Pilot Grove right there, so we're looking south of I-70 currently. There's Pilot Grove at about 124, Syracuse 128, and 137 for Bunston. So 2 active tornado warnings right now in our coverage area. Let me get the warnings on for you. There you go. So this will be crossing over into Otterville here before too long, east of Sedalia, and then the other one that's up by Marshall. Melissa, anything coming in with these? Everything's still radar indicated?
Yes.
It's still it's the same story with all of them, which has been they just want to spin up real fast, and maybe they've got a tornado. We're not sure, but we're treating them as though they do. We've had a lot of these warnings so far today. So anything coming through on chat?
No, nothing coming through on chat. No reports of anything at this point. Still just continuing that tornado warning for Pettis counties and Cooper County. And so Pettis County is still in our viewing area, but Cooper County is not. So we're going to be watching that as it moves over the county line and into Cooper County. It's moving rather quickly, still at east around 50 miles per hour. But that is the latest that I have from the National Weather Service chat. I have no other reports or any other information at this time.
Okay, we're just about to exit out of Pettis County with this warning, with this area of rotation, but it is still within Pettis County. So we got a fresh scan that just came in. So this is southwest of Pilot Grove. We're really getting granular here, but east of Newland, east of Beeman. So Newland and Beeman, you guys no longer in your communities have the threat of a tornado. You've got some stout winds. The winds here are rocking 60, 65, and it's over a big area. A big chunk of the county has been hit hard by that. Clifton City, little spot there, but really it's east of Newland. That's the area that would be most likely to produce a tornado from what we can see before this starts to punch eastward across the county line. Once it does, that will be exiting our coverage area. Here's your warning with this, and then we'll go back up north into Saline County. So until 1:30, but this is really going towards Cooper County here rather soon, rather quickly, and moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So that one's really rocking along pretty good. There it is. I'll get that out of the way for you. So just about to cross over into Cooper County, just east of Newland, potential tornado there. Otterville, this would be northwest of you if you could see us in Otterville. So there's that warning. And then the other one that we have that's up in Saline County is east of Marshall with a potential tornado threat. Maybe up here by Cambridge, again, a couple little spots within this that are getting this kink in them that we keep talking about. One would be around Arrow Rock, just north of Arrow Rock, and another one would be by Slater. Two areas there, Cambridge and points to the east of Saline County, maybe getting toward Armstrong and Fayette as this one's going east at 50. So here's our warning here. This one also goes until 1:30. This is our newer one. So this is going to be into Howard, Randolph, and Sheraton counties, but also in Saline County, all right? So that's what we have there. Let's track that one out for you. Then, Greg, we're going to get back over to you and see what's going on with, did we get the, looks like they're still working on the tractor trailer. Get an update there.
Yes.
Okay, so this one's going 45 right there. So that would be Gilliam 112. Being your tornado safe spot. We do see potential for a tornado there. Boonesboro at 120, Glasgow 123, your updated time, and then Fayette, that is just past the warning time, that'd be 133. Greg, let's go over to you, see what updates you have.
Yep, sure thing there, Luke. Yeah, we're monitoring this tractor trailer. It's been down for about an hour or so now that we've been monitoring this for you. We've got the tractor trailer and the tow trucks now. There are two of them, and the men are working on them. You can see they're actually on top of this overturned semi-truck with these very large straps. So this is a very fascinating kind of thing that they do here. What they have done is they literally wrap this strap around the actual trailer of the tractor trailer itself. It's obviously going to be attached to this particular tow truck, but there will be another strap that is taken to the secondary tow truck. They're going to work in tandem with each other to actually slowly but surely flip this tractor trailer back on its side, on an upright side, and allow it to actually be lifted from the normal wear and tear way a tow truck will lift a truck or a vehicle, right? It'll use its crane, it'll lift it, and then it'll be able to take it on. So there's a process here when we get to these big rigs, and it takes a lot more time than a standard maybe accident with a car, a sedan, an SUV. And this has been blocking I-70 there around the Blue Springs area, moving more, I believe, eastbound into the Kansas City area for quite some time. It's going to take a little bit longer with them. Obviously, we've got the Missouri Highway Patrol. They are out there with their flashing lights to make sure that everything is safe and sound. And it looks like we're trying to get some access there. Yeah, looks like the highways are trying to open up, even moving through right behind there. So definitely something that we're going to continue to track. This is just one of those things that happens when we get into inclement weather, Luke, and then obviously we've got that situation where we're still dropping these little notches of potential tornado development.
Yeah, they've been quick. They just kind of pop up left and right. right, and this whole line has had a tornado potential severe weather tag. So the National Weather Service put out all the severe thunderstorm warnings as we tracked this through, and every single one of them had, well, it could drop a tornado, and whenever that rotation got tight enough, then it became a tornado warning. Radar indicated tornado warning. The other thing has been the winds, and high straight line winds has been a highlight of today's risk. In fact, Melissa, she's showing the wind gusts within the past hour. That's not necessarily current, but some high wind gusts that we've reported as these storms blow through.
Absolutely. So the storms have blown through. This has been both on the front half and on the back half of this as well. We've also had reports of very gusty winds from our Facebook live stream as well. People reporting just very strong winds. The wind is howling out there, but we saw those storms most recently move through the Sedalia area. 52 miles per hour as 1 a.m. this morning was the wind gust that was recorded. So 52 miles an hour at least with these storms that were pushing through the area, at least on the back half of this as well, towards Bethany, Cameron, Chillicothe, anywhere between about 25 to 35 miles per hour wind gusts behind this large system that's moving through the area. So we have seen the potential for straight line winds today. Sedalia is showing that at least 52 mile per hour wind gusts were likely and have occurred as that line of straight line winds and that line of rain and thunderstorms, potent storms moved through the area. So we have seen breezy, windy conditions on the back half of this with winds between about wind gusts between about 20 to 35 miles per hour. But as those storms are knocking on your door or just recently knocked on your door, we are seeing some wind gusts up to 52 miles per hour in Sedalia. So that's the latest that we have in terms of our wind gusts from across the area, as of course that line just recently going through the Sedalia area and moving out towards our east as well. So Luke, back to you.
Always, it'll be interesting tomorrow to see what comes with all the reports. You know, whenever daylight comes, how strong some of these wind gusts were. We had some indication on our radar at times that these could have been 70, 75 miles per hour. I have good news for our viewers in Pettis County. The tornado threat appears to have moved out. It's now into Cooper County, so it does continue there. Let me show you what we're working with, as it looks like it just crossed over with the rotating part of the storm into Cooper County and outside of Pettis County. So this, what you're looking at here, is Pettis County. This is Cooper County, and now it's just west of Pilot Grove. Now we're probably still seen here, but Pilot Grove, potential tornado moving towards you. So tornado warning continues there for another 15 minutes. That is in Cooper County, the rotating part of the storm. This is still stout winds. This is still a severe thunderstorm, but in Pettis County, the rotation's out. It has moved to the east. Let's go up north into Saline County. We do still have a tornado warning here for another 15 minutes as well. That one's also just about to punch out of Saline County. Now, I do still see a couple little notches here. I mean, I'm talking right on the very edge of Saline County, just working its way eastward. So Armstrong, Fayette, this is not as strong of a signal as what we saw down in Cooper County, but these little pockets within here that have a shot at dropping a little brief tornado. So tornado warning does continue for northeast Saline County. It also continues for eastern Pettis County, but I'm letting you know that in Pettis County, the rotating part's gone. Not necessarily in the clear yet in Saline County. So if you're in Cambridge, let's zoom in on a couple of these spots. If you're in Glasgow, if you're in Slater, it's past you. It looks like it's gone past Slater. And see, it's north of Arrow Rock. Strong straight line winds all through there. Just about to exit eastern sections of Saline County. Nonetheless, tornado warning does continue there for another 15 minutes. Looks like we've got another one that is just to the north. This is Salisbury. So we've got a warning here. So whether you include Muscle Fork, this is just east of Brunswick. So this is outside of our coverage area, but Sheraton and Randolph counties, tornado warning going there. So that whole line still, as it goes through Missouri, if you've got friends or family, you want to let them know, hey, it's the middle of the night, you might be sleeping. I'm going to give you a call, let you know that these storms are potentially producing tornadoes and you're under a warning. So something to check there. Let's go back to the traditional Doppler radar. You can see that line and all the severe thunderstorm warnings that continue with it. So now it's going to be going toward Kirksville. It's going to be going toward Macon and Moberly. There's Columbia there. Strong storms moving toward Columbia. Maybe you have students that are there. You've got children that go there. You can give them a call, let them know too. Storms moving out for us. They're headed your way. And then Jeff City. So all that line has potential to do what we dealt with tonight, which was strong straight line winds and tornadic activity, at least the potential for it. So warnings do continue. We've got another 13 minutes up here in Saline County. We're going to monitor that It looks like it's just about to exit, though. So Kansas City, we're on the back edge of this thing. Rain's even coming down. All right, so we're done. We're done. In Hardin, in Odessa, in Warrensburg, just thunderstorms. The severe portion's gone. This intense line that you see that's rolling to the east, that's the one that we have to watch. Greg, let's get back over to you. Let's check in on the tractor trailer on I-70.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild to see this. So they've got the straps already on this, and they're already starting to pull. It's a slow process. You can actually see the motion of the trailer itself as they're trying to lift it gingerly, because the last thing they need is to make more of a problem here around the interstate. You can see the big tractor trailers and the cars behind this kind of zooming down the highways right now. So it's a delicate operation of these massive tow trucks that come in to kind of save these tractor trailers that flipped over during the kind of storm activity. With that being said, you can see the motion, there it is, of that tractor trailer as they're trying to pull on it. The good news is the actual driver itself, anybody and everybody who's been in this particular accident, obviously the truck driver being the main one, is okay. They are safe, no significant injuries whatsoever, but yeah, see, they're adjusting. You can see one of the tow truck drivers checking, making sure it's in the right spot, that strap is, as they slowly try to figure out, is this the right way that we want to lift this tractor trailer? So it is pretty interesting to see this go down. Again, this is on I-70 around Blue Springs. We do have backups here. As you get farther away from this, right, moving out towards the east and more towards that line of thunderstorm activity, maybe around the Marshall area, you are seeing significant delays there too, and that was just due to the inclement weather that was in those locations. It's still obviously moving out. I also have, side note, more information on Evergy. It's almost 15,000 people that are out with power right now, and BPU is somewhere around 500 to 1,000 people right now within the viewing area, and it looks like there's going to be a significant delay to restoring that power. It's going to take some time, so heads up to that. That's the latest I have for you guys. Luke, to you.
Okay, so we mentioned that Pettis County. In Pettis County, the tornado threat is east. That is in now Cooper County, outside of our coverage area. And then we have the one left in extreme eastern Saline County. So one tornado warning that is still posing a threat within the extreme eastern portions of Saline County, which is in our coverage area. Let me track this for you. All right, so there you go. It's kind of spotty and tough to see, but the thing that we see are these little bright spots here. That'd be south of Cambridge. That'd be north of Arrow Rock. There's another one just south of Arrow Rock. So watch those two areas. I'm going to put a track on this for you, and it's about to exit those of you in Saline County. You've got just a few more moments here, and that's gone. So there it is. The whole thing's running east at about 50. So let's get you some communities in this. All right, so Cambridge, that'd be 122. Warning goes till 1:30. That's another 10 minutes, and it might get extended. There's Glasgow at 127. After that, you're outside of the warning. You're in 136 in Fayette and Burton at 141. So we have had our whole team here today. We've had Melissa Meter, we've had Greg Bennett, he came in early. Warren Sears was here earlier as we prepared for this line of storms. Anytime that there's something like this that poses a threat for tornadoes or significant straight line winds, we're going to bring you team coverage. And we're going to stay with you all the way through the event until it's gone, until everybody is in the clear and it's safe as we track these strong storms. Greg, let's go back to you. You're still going to be here for a little while, even after these storms move out. Tell the viewers what they can expect with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the good news is we actually get into a little bit of clear weather as we move forward into the day side today. But all about First Warn 5 weather is looking ahead to the next inclement weather situation. And it's just on tap for us. It's Wednesday's forecast. Starting to see now slight risks and even enhanced risks of severe storm activity developing out towards our south and western counties. I'm going to go into an hour-by-hour track, get into the nitty-gritty of this as we move forward into our morning newscast, but talk about the good and what you can expect for the weekend, because that's looking pretty good for us too. Luke, to you.
That's what we need, Greg, the good. It's been nothing but storms here lately. It's just been severe storm risk after, and there it is again on Wednesday. So Greg will walk you through that tomorrow morning. The severe threat for the tornadic threat is moving out. So we're going to hand this over to Greg, and he's going to walk you through everything that you need to know over the next few days. That's going to be on the morning newscast. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to do a deep dive on everything that happened today and what we can expect in the days to come. That'll be on our First Warn 5 weather show. That'll be coming up at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. We'll have it 5 days a week, and you can always get everything you need to know about the weather in the Kansas City area from the First Warn 5 weather show, and of course on the KCTV5 newscast as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe. Have a good night.